on.
Mikey.
Right, hello and welcome to the Politics Social on Politics Social. Welcome. I'm joined by Wayne Lynch from the Bin Podcast and Mike Dix from Trumpton. So how's everyone doing this evening?
Yeah, good, man.
Very good.
Do you know what I thought would be a good idea, right? Each time we do this, because people come on and they go, who are these people you're talking to? So, could you introduce yourself, starting with Wayne? Wayne, could you please introduce yourself, please, sir?
Hello, I am Wayne Lynch, known as the Wayne Maker from the Bin Podcast and sundry other little cameos that I tend to pop up online. I'm a domestic energy assessor, planet saver, and general good egg.
Good egg. You're a good egg. Mike, tell us about yourself.
I am Mike Dix. I'm an illustrator and cartoonist, and I live in Brighton, and I make cartoons based on the TV series of Trumpton from the 1960s, but I abuse it terribly.
Wow. Brilliant. My name is Graham Hughes, and my claim to fame is that I once finished the curry hell at the Rupali restaurant in Big Market in Newcastle, and I got a certificate and a little trophy for completing it. Although it did hurt to go to the toilet for many days afterwards. And not just to poo. Anyway, right. So
also we have a special guest. Ozzy. Up here. Up. Jump up.
I've got a little doggy. Oh, hello, doggy. Ozzy the dog.
They're eating the dogs.
Ozzy named after Ozzy Osbourne?
I believe so.
Don't eat the dogs. Don't eat the dogs.
He's trying to eat me.
Wayne, don't eat it. Don't.
Right, Ozzy, bed.
Don't eat the dog. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Good lad.
Hello to everyone in the chat. If you'd like to join the chat, welcome. Everyone's welcome. No trolls though, except for trolls. All you need to do is just click on the subscribe button below and wait for 30 seconds, and then you can join our socialites here. On the left of the screen. So a big shout out to David in there, and Victoria, and Channel, and Lee, and Sarah, and everybody else in there. So we're going to be talking first about Mike Johnson. Is that his name? Is it Mike Johnson? Have I just made that up? Mark Robinson.
Mark Robinson.
Can I get his name right? Mark Robinson is...
AKA the Black Nazi.
He's running in North Carolina, which is it's one of those fringe states. What's it called? Like a swing state. Like it's a state that could go to the Democrats in America. And so, Trump has got to try really hard to win that state. And now this guy, right, has been found to have gone on like a porn website for many years. This is like over the course of like 4 or 5 years. He was on this website saying the most really like messed up, atrocious things on this, and they've traced it back to him, and he's like, "No, it wasn't me." And they're like, "But it's your email address."
Yeah, Graham, is this from your extensive research?
Investigative journalist.
No, it's just from what I hear on CNN. It was so funny though. It's one of those stories. It's like when it turned out that Cameron had like done something to a pig's head, and they're trying to describe it on the news without actually saying the words, or like, just intonating what happened or what eventually happened. Because there was like all these messages.
Some stuff, didn't they, as well?
Oh yeah,
we can't read that one.
There's some really dark stuff in there.
Is that when they sort of like use like the thesaurus to sort of like try and say something without actually saying the words?
Yeah.
So this man is believed to copulate with a pig's facial area.
Yes. It was funny because in the Charlie Brooker show, Black Mirror, the very first episode of that national anthem, that was the plot, and they had a scene where all the news anchors are trying to talk about what the Prime Minister has to do to this pig without actually saying what the Prime Minister has to do. And it was exactly the same when it happened in real life with David Cameron and the accusations that he had done that with a pig. Although, it does go to show, it's not what you know. It's not who you know. It's what you know about who you know.
Did that episode of Black Mirror come out prior or post?
No, before. Way before. A couple of years, yeah.
Wow.
I think Brooker must have had an inside.
No. Apparently, according to him, I saw an interview and he went, "No, he was as shocked as anyone." He was just like, "Oh my god, this is bizarre." And you know that there was an episode.
the story was it was made up anyway, wasn't it? It was a
probably.
revenge book
Probably.
by Oakenshot's boss.
But would it be that out of the ordinary? Would you put it past?
No,
him?
it's the kind of story you just go, well, that's what I'd expect him to be doing.
Exactly,
so,
exactamundo.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Charlie Brooker also did the episode that had Bryce Dallas Howard in it, where you had to give people a good review on your phone every time you spoke to anyone, and they actually do that in China. That is actually a thing in China. Where if you get like voted down too many times, you can't get a mortgage.
Yeah, you social credits to it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you watched Black Mirror and went, "Oh, that's a good idea." You should never watch Black Mirror and go, "That's a good idea."
The three of us can't get mortgages, isn't it?
Exactly. Everyone's voting us down. Please don't vote us down. Although,
off Facebook,
as Uncle Phil likes to point out, you know when people give you a downvote on Twitter, sorry, not Twitter, YouTube, doesn't matter because it's still interaction. So it's still.
They got rid of that, didn't they?
Absolutely. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Well, they've added a new bunch of things, haven't they, to YouTube? But on Twitter now, they've got this. Community notes.
Yes.
One of my accounts is registered to do community notes, to write them, and I've been downgraded as a community notes person because I keep saying, no, that's absolute garbage what Elon Musk just said. They keep saying you're not a very good community notes advisor because you keep disagreeing with the boss.
Speaking of which, if you're in a chat right now, can you just smash the like button, hit the notification?
It so hard that you break the screen on your phone or your telly. Throw your remote control at the telly.
Shatter your screen.
Throw your remote control at the like button. And talking of liking things, here's Scott. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
There he is.
Now, we're actually bothering to introduce people properly today. So, Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself since you're here.
With your mouthful.
Massive homosexual.
You're a massive homosexual. Excellent. That's all you need to know, really. There you go.
Exactly.
Do you get work? Is that actually a job?
Yeah, that's what it's on his business card.
That's my profession.
Scott, massive homosexual.
Scott's CV is just Scott, and then massive homosexual.
This is Scott, a massive homosexual.
Employ me.
Anyway, we're talking about Mark Robinson from the representative of North Carolina. I don't think he's originally from there, is he? I don't know. Don't care. Anyway, this is the maddest story because all these Republicans who are all like, they pretend to be holier than thou, and they all pretend to be Christian when they're absolutely not Christian in any way, shape, or form. And it's like, oh, what's he done? Oh, well, he said he was a black Nazi. Oh, well, that's all right. He says, well, he was watching porn. Well, a lot of people watch porn. Yeah, but he was watching trans porn. And that's it. That's it. Like the Republicans are like, oh, that's it now. Toys out the pram. I'm not putting up with this kind of nonsense. Not voting Trump anymore. How very dare he?
There are so many quotes from Trump saying that he thinks he's the next Martin Luther King. In fact, the Martin Luther King on steroids.
Martin Luther King on steroids. Because if you gave Martin Luther King steroids, he actually would say that he was a black Nazi. He would actually ask to bring back slavery, because that's what happens when you give Martin Luther King steroids.
I've got to say, didn't Alex Jones get caught out as well? Like his overhead cam, he was watching trans porn on his phone.
Brilliant.
Really?
Does that shock anyone? Does anyone find that surprising?
Watching trans porn?
No, not at all. Not at all. The problem is the people who watch that then go on to discriminate against trans people.
Attacking trans people. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
It's like you going on saying I'm a massive homosexual and I'm absolutely against LGBT rights, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I don't believe in gay rights or gay marriage, but I'm a gay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a black man saying they should bring back slavery is a bit odd. Come on, like,
100%.
Not everything's going around in his head there.
Kanye was a Nazi. Is Kanye still a Nazi?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I think so.
He is now.
I thought Kanye said that as well.
Kanye's just all over the bloody spectrum.
No.
He's just everywhere.
Was it Kanye who was the gay fish?
I don't know. Oh,
don't know that one.
No,
but he went on Alex Jones's show with like a full-on hood, like a black hood.
What? Like a clan hood?
No, a black hood, like
He just wore this lycra hood, like a balaclava with no holes.
Have a quick Google of it.
What?
It's ridiculous.
Why?
It's the most ridiculous interview, and the interview was about an hour long. And Alex Jones in this interview is desperately trying to make Kanye look better. He keeps giving him opportunities to say, "You're not a real Nazi, are you?" And Kanye's going, "Absolutely."
Totally.
Yeah, he gave him so many fucking life jackets, and he was like, "I don't want it." I'm just going to drown.
Lucas is saying, "Yeah, that was Kanye, the gay fish." I'm glad that was Kanye because I was at Glastonbury one year with this flag that said "gay fish" when Kanye was playing, and I didn't know. I didn't look at the wrong guy, but yeah, it was a South Park joke from many, many, many moons ago. So yeah,
I don't get it.
Oh, Mikey's turned up. We've got a Mikey in the chat. A wild Mikey.
No, in a classic Graham segue. In a classic Graham segue, talking of gay fish, Mikey.
You gay fish, Mikey.
How you doing, Mikey?
Is that going to be my first question to this person I've not even met before? Hi.
Not the. Never look a gift card in the. I don't know.
in the gill.
Don't ever look at a gift in the cod piece.
Well, Mikey, welcome. Would you like to give yourself a little quick introduction to everyone?
Hi, I'm the cute one from the Bin Podcast Network. We have several shows. Check out the Bin Podcast, Unboxed Politics, Filthy Americans, Euro Trash, The Culture Under Review, and whatever I'm going to name my very angry rantings in the middle of the night. So check us out on YouTube and Twitch at the Bin Podcast Network.
That's a lovely T-shirt that you got there, Mikey. So,
am I going to?
Oh, this old thing.
That's a nice bin. Am I going to be on Eurotrash? Is there an opening for me?
Eurotrash.
I know exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the Eurotrash could be the cross pollinator between our two. Where the pistil meets the stamen, if you understand my meaning.
Hands up if you've been to every country in Europe twice.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh
God. It's 5 minutes. We're in 5 minutes.
Have you ever written a book about something like that?
Oh, shit, Mikey, you're not helping.
Where is it? Guinness Book of Records 2016. Page 200 in the margin. That's me.
Oh, Mikey, you missed the fact he has a certificate for getting diarrhea in Newcastle. I think that was
it.
I've got to say, Graham's starting to sound like the Joe Rogan of this bloody show.
Yeah, you take that back. You take that back, Tory Wayne. Mr. I vote for the Tories.
All right, look, I'm standing in solidarity with Sakia.
Oh, hang on. Were you going to make a joke about Joe Rogan Josh? Because it was an Indian curry that we were talking about.
You were. You don't.
Perhaps
did I make that joke?
Fried chicken instead.
You made that up right now.
I should have thought about that a bit harder, shouldn't I? I'll tell you what, I'll shut up now and think about what I've done.
Yeah, take the shovel out of your hands, bruv.
You just pulled a JD Vance. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I don't know how to talk to people or relate to people. What are people and why? Why are people, Mikey?
When asked, JD Vance, when asked, hey, what do you think about this trash bag of a person saying that the White House would smell like curry if Kamala Harris is elected president?
Oh my God.
He gives this kind of not answer, and he's like, look, it doesn't matter if it smells like curry or fried chicken or anything. I'm just like,
oh my God.
Well, there you go, boys and girls.
Double down.
What more do you need to see?
Jesus.
I can keep telling you guys. This is the C squad of Republicans. This is a cakewalk. That's why they're trying to abscond the Constitution, because they have to cheat. It's like, we gotta cheat, man.
I think they are trying to cheat at the moment, aren't they?
We have to cheat.
Vance is in the middle phase of Trumpton, isn't he? So you start off hating him, saying never Trump. Then you get a chance for power with him, so you suck up and do everything he says, basically.
Okay.
And now Trump's demasculating him completely. Just
lie. Hey, he stopped wearing eyeliner for a week.
I've got something on the horizon that might be coming up that, I think it's going to freak you all out.
This is a family show. So.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. If you're a family, close your ears. Laura Loomer Trump's latest squeeze, right? His bit on the side for his bit on the side for his bit on the side for his bit on the side. Allegedly.
I have never seen anyone look like the Mona Lisa. There you go. I have never seen anyone look like a painting before, but
if Picasso painted the Mona Lisa, then
she looks like she's going to turn up on a tiny trike and say with little swirls on her cheeks and say, "You want to play a game?" Anyway, she is renowned for recording shit like videotaping and audio taping people without their knowledge. She's like got form on this.
I thought you were talking about something else.
And Mike, you were saying about like basically the people, Trump gets them into his orbit and then he fucks them over. When she gets fucked over, there will be footage of them going at it that will be released on the internet. I want to get Wayne, and I'll talk to the rest of the people. I want a end of year shirt, and I think 2024, the 2024 edition shirt, it is the year of the reckoning. So many titans have fallen, so many to go, but it has begun. Big names are going down. So
okay.
This is the kind of rhetoric that leads to golf course shootings, Mikey. So if tone it down,
Mike.
I think Laura Loomer's going to do him in. Can I just say this now, just in case it happens? I want to be like Nostradamus. I want everyone to know that I said I reckon that he's going to piss off Laura Loomer, and she's such a lunatic. She's going to take him out.
We will credit you with that.
And I don't mean for a nice meal.
If that happens, Mike, you do the illustrations. I'll get that printed, and I'll get us all one.
Yeah.
But then that means that JD Vance will be president.
He won't, because they're not going to win. You need to stop.
They are going to win.
He likes to do this too.
Scott, they're going to win.
They're unhappy.
They're not going to win the election.
They're looking at the hill they have to climb after their Tory bullshit. See that it's miserable. Look over at us. See that we're about to get out of our shit, and just say, "Oh, you know what? You know who's going to lose? You know Kamala's going to lose, right? You're going to be living in a fascist country. And then they just giggle to themselves as they sweat. Don't let them do that.
I think she's going to win the election, Mikey. I think she's going to win the election. I just don't think she's going to be the next president.
I want to get.
What the hell do you mean by that?
He owns the Supreme Court. Well, he owns 6 of the Supreme Court judges.
The Supreme Court.
They're his whiny little bitches, and they will do anything he asks. And he says, "I want you to fuck the system and make me president." And they will go, "Yes, Donnie."
Do that.
Right, Donnie. 3 bags full, Donnie.
Can't do that.
They literally can't.
I'm with Graham. I'm with Graham, and I think he'll try to do that. I don't think
it's the highest court in the land.
I don't think they can do that.
Yes, they can. Why
If
not? They are the law.
Then there would be no elections.
Do you remember Judge Dredd? You know, he used to go around saying, "I am the law" before he shot someone.
It's a comic book.
Yeah, but they are the Judge Dredd of America.
One at a time.
But Graham, you got the shape of our government wrong.
Really?
It's a line, brother.
Is it?
Or a pyramid? They're co-equal branches. You can't.
No. And the Supreme Court's at the top.
Can't just and then no, they're not at that top.
So you got
they are at the top, unelected, unimpeachable. They can be as corrupt as hell. No one can hold them to account.
You've got Congress and you've got the president.
They can't be held to account.
They can be held to account.
Okay, tell me the process of holding them to account.
You can impeach it. You can
impeach them. So what do you need to do to actually make some criminal charges stick? 2/3 of the Senate. Congress. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and how many thirds does the Democrat Party have?
It's not. It's about the House.
1.5,
mate.
1 and a bit.
Okay.
1 and a bit.
So basically, there's no mathematical way of them ever being impeached for anything that they do.
Literally, Graham, they can't do it.
Yes, they can. They literally can.
You're living in fantasy land.
Check the Constitution. Do you guys wrote it? Read the damn thing. It says the Supreme Court. It doesn't say how many people are allowed to be on it.
It's not get to do whatever the fuck it wants.
It does. and then it declares it legal after the event.
Has to work. It has to represent the framework of the Constitution.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
But
Scott, interpret the Constitution however it wants.
That is open to interpretation, and a large number of
Can
I just tease
because
this out
there's
just a little bit?
There's literalists and interpreters, and there are at least 6 Supreme Court judges who genuinely think that God wrote the damn thing. So
can we tease this out? I just want to know, what do you think the Supreme Court will do? Like, election day happens, Trump loses, and then what are you saying happens next? They just email everybody and say, no, actually we decided that it's different. Like, how does that?
Al Gore hanging ballots.
So Trump loses in, say, Georgia. Georgia have already, the Republicans there have already set it up to, first of all, loads of court challenges against the results to throw out votes. So if they have 11,870 votes to get rid of, they will go through every legal means of doing that. Backed up by the Supreme Court if it gets that far. Indians. And then you've got the fake electors scheme that they will do again. But this time, the Supreme Court will say, yes, those are the electors that you have to listen to in the House of Representatives, because they're the electors for some reason, and they'll pull out some arcane interpretation of the Constitution, which doesn't mention anything about abortion, but somehow does.
You know who has to approve that, right?
The Supreme Court.
No, Kamala Harris.
No, she's got to approve the electors. She's got to say, these electors are real.
Yeah, she'll totally let that in.
Yeah, but why does it have to be her? Why can't the Supreme Court just say, because we don't like her?
She's the vice president, or AKA the president of the Senate.
She's the vice president as long as the Supreme Court says that a vice president is okay.
Are now going to say who the vice president is?
Yes.
Is it now?
Yeah. Well, if they can say who the electors are, they can say who the vice president is.
No,
the case has to be brought up.
Look, they're above the law and they make the law. That's it.
Harris would have to bring a complaint to them about the elector. Why would she do that?
No, she wouldn't have to bring a complaint.
Okay. I have it.
Anyone can bring a complaint, can't they? To the Supreme Court. It's up to them whether they listen to it.
That doesn't mean it will get heard.
No. It will, because 6 of them are in the thrall of Troll.
Trump will.
Trump.
If Trump
will jump the queue,
it will get heard.
Thrall of Troll.
Trump's going to jump the line, yeah?
Yeah, I think Trump's going to be the next president. Or the last
one
president.
good thing is
that's not going to happen.
Didn't they recently rule that the president can't commit a crime when he's the president?
Yep.
So Biden can just lock 6 of them up, and it's fine. Biden can just put,
but he won't, because he's a pussy,
and it's fine.
He will not become the president of the United States next year.
I'm not sure that's true. I'm pretty sure they said that he can't be prosecuted for a crime prior whilst he was president, but anything after he's
the ruling is that the president cannot be committed of a crime that he does as an act of the president.
Yeah.
So if he orders a missile strike on somebody and collateral damage happens or whatever, innocent people
theoretically
die,
Biden
he can't be charged for murder because he is immune from prosecution for ordering the strike.
So
we've had a comment. We've had a comment from Yoni saying, Graham, not just anyone can bring a complaint to the SCOTUS. Yes, you're absolutely right. Not everyone can, but judges can.
Trump can.
And they're all Republican judges. There's literally thousands of Republican judges who are MAGA Republicans. They're not just normal Republicans, normal evil. They're crazy evil.
You also forget that a lot of those Republican judges stopped loads of those legal challenges that happened last year.
No, they were the Republican ones. They've all been replaced now by MAGA Republican ones.
Yeah, he just gets.
Trump
what's
didn't
the name?
win one legal challenge last time.
No, but
he will this time.
The name of the
He's
judge
not going
in Florida?
to this time.
The judge in Florida that's just thrown out the documents case.
That's not in regard to the election. That was in regard to somebody else.
Yeah, but all
it's the documents that he stole.
So he just gets hurt.
Well, the thing,
he seems pretty tame.
So the thing is that Biden
you
did
two
the same
sound
thing,
like
right?
conspiracy theorists.
Biden did the same thing, right? Where he had documents at a residence. The difference was staggering, though. He didn't have several rooms full of the shit. Just left out on a stage, left in an extra bathroom. And he's
legally, it was literally that they asked for them back, and Biden gave them back. And they
Right,
asked Trump
right.
for them back, and Trump said they don't exist. Basically,
He said, "I already gave them. I already gave them to you. What are you talking about?"
yeah,
And
exactly.
and also the difference with Biden's was in a private residence, and as soon as his team were made aware, he declared it and handed them straight back. Whereas the evidence against Trump, it was just strewn across the dance floor in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
And the toilets.
So yeah, and in the toilets,
Where
and he was
he had-
stuffing them
where-
down.
where he treats with literally anyone
Yeah.
who will pay him. So if you guys don't think that every single country hasn't sent somebody through there to kiss his ass and take a little look-see around and go through some folders.
The fucker had the
God.
Taliban there. The fucker had the Taliban there.
Yeah, but you
Well,
know
he didn't have them at Mar-a-Lago, did he? They were Camp David, but we don't know.
Yeah, he took him. He might have taken them everywhere.
It don't matter.
Make
It's
a-
like
he
doing the
needed a
tour.
quick buck.
Look at my buildings. These are
I
all
guarantee-
mine.
So
I guarantee you, Farage has been sniffing around
Just to
Mar-a-Lago's
talk-
toilets. Though.
just talk for a moment about judges and just how much power they have. So we're talking about the documents case, right?
Yeah.
So the judge in that case, Judge Cannon, right, Eileen Cannon, she just declared that the US government can't have someone as a special prosecutor who isn't already a lawyer for the US government.
Right.
That's a novel interpretation of the law in America that she just made up, and she used that to throw the case out. Honestly, they have
We've had
so
special
much power.
prosecutors since Nixon, haven't they?
I know.
So,
But they have
nobody's
so...
ever challenged it.
Yeah, but they can. They will find every...
I'm sorry, Grant. What did you say? You can't be a special prosecutor if you're not already a
Yeah.
lawyer.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
not
the
a lawyer
judge said. That's
for-
what Cannon has said.
Yeah, for the government.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
But the whole
every
point
rule
of having a
she's made
special
on that
prosecutor
case
is they're
doesn't
not a
make
lawyer
any
for the
sense.
government because it's something that involves the government. So it's supposed to be an outside person
that's-
coming in.
Right.
So
but they
she's
have to be a
just-
lawyer.
Yeah, but she's decided that her interpretation of the law of America... I mean, it's messed up. It's not true.
But that doesn't mean that the whole law changes because she said it.
That's her district.
That's
Right.
her
Because-
interpretation
because
of the
they're
law
in
there.
the
case cell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole
because
America
it's-
doesn't bow to the whim of one nutcase in Florida.
Right.
But they
That's
will.
she's thrown
They
the
will
case
when
out.
it's the Supreme Court because they judge
again,
on
this
federal
is
law.
conspiracy theory. This is
I-
all
No,
conspiracy
but Scott,
I'm just
theory.
saying.
You
it's
sound as
pretty clear.
crazy as those MAGA people.
I
do.
try to tell
But it-
them, but they won't listen to me. They have another. But what about this afterward? And I'm like, but
That's
the
what,
thing is,
that's
it's
what
how it
conspiracy
works.
theorists do.
She's
I try to
achieving.
tell
She's
them, but they
achieving
don't
what she
tell
needs
them.
to achieve.
Did you
which
get
is
vaccinated, Graham?
She's
Pardon?
thrown the case out.
What?
She's thrown the case out, which literally doesn't. It will be opened in another court. It will be fine. They'll
Then
appeal,
again,
but it won't be done. But it won't be done
until.
until. It won't be done until after the election, and
Yeah,
after the
It
election,
doesn't matter.
Right.
can pardon
But that's-
himself
but
from a
that's- but
federal
that-
law case.
But that's why we're still here doing his court cases now. All of this stuff was supposed to be
Not
taken
that
care
one.
of years. Well, I'm saying his legal issues have all been dragged out because this is what he does. He permanently drags his feet, and now he's offering people things to help drag feet. He can keep delaying all he wants. He's not getting any younger. The charges are not going anywhere. Everything is Everything is recorded. So, well, they're appealing that, Graham. That's the thing. So he can keep this delay tactic up as long and as hard as he wants to. We're
Yes.
here, and we're young, and we are ready to prosecute you as soon as you're done throwing your temper tantrums.
I don't think that Trump will ever spend a day in jail.
of course not. Of course not.
He will just delay it till the day he
Remember, he
dies.
doesn't have an unlimited supply of money.
He does.
He took all.
That's
the
where you're wrong,
Republicans'
Scott.
money.
That's
Oh,
where you're
sorry,
wrong.
I forgot. All the hillbillies are just continuing to give.
No. Every
He's selling
evil
sneakers.
billionaire in the world wants him to win. And all billionaires are evil.
You sound like conspiracy. You really sound conspiracy.
Does Musk not want him to win?
It doesn't matter what Musk wants.
Does Peter Thiel want him to win?
You're
How come
saying
he didn't
that
give him any money,
why
Graham?
Elon Musk just become president? He's rich.
He can't. He's South African.
He's South
Right,
African.
no,
Why would that
that
stop?
doesn't
We can buy
matter.
the Supreme
Surely we could
Court.
just find a judge
Just buy
to
the Supreme
deem
Court.
the fact that he's South African irrelevant.
No, can't do it.
Do you know what I mean? Oh,
No.
we
What do
can't
you
do
mean,
that.
Graham?
Oh, we can do all the other
No.
shit you're saying.
Yes, you can.
Oh,
Because they've set it all up quite evidently to do this.
Absolutely.
Where you at, Scott? I got you, dog. Don't worry about him. We got him.
I can't. Graham, no.
All right. Well, I think this has got contentious. We should move on to the Apollo landings.
Which definitely happened. Because that's an historical event. Not something that's probably going to happen in the next few months.
All right, and then after the Apollo landings, can we talk about JFK?
No, but I think that a lot of Democrats in America have Scott's attitude of like, oh, it won't happen. Don't be so stupid. It's not going to happen. And they're not putting anything in place to make sure that it doesn't happen.
Hold
and
on,
I find that really frustrating because they could be doing stuff, especially as the Supreme Court has just literally said that the president is above the law of the land, which has never happened before in the history of America.
To be honest, Graham, I think the only safety net is that Trump and his lawyers are largely incompetent at this stuff. I think it is their plan.
People funding them aren't.
But they're buffoons, and they always.
Peter Thiel's not incompetent.
I'd like to quell some fears here. So it's not that we don't think that this idiot is not dangerous. It's that your characterization of what he is capable of doing and not doing is the distinction that we're trying to make. And you're saying that we're saying that it's impossible. No, we're saying that what you're saying is incorrect, and maybe you're just misstating it. But that one judge throwing out that case does not mean that all judges can now throw out whatever like that. It will not work like that. Like Southern District of New York, that is not happening. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
It's not what you're saying. Like, you're making it too broad, and we're trying to keep it specific because I think it's in 2 or 3 different districts.
It's not one judge though, is it? Trump literally put hundreds of judges in place, MAGA judges, and 6 of the Supreme Court are fucking lunatics.
Okay. So when you say that, what the hell does a judge he appoints in Oklahoma or Kansas have to do with him when he hasn't?
Because when he brings his court case to say that the election's been stolen in Georgia, they can go, yes, you're right. We're going to have a recount very, very slowly. And then what might happen in December of 2024, because it's 24 years later, the Supreme Court might say, hey, stop counting those votes.
He's just filed a case against the government, which is almost impossible to do in the States. There's a way to do it. And he's just filed a case at the last minute saying that the government has aggressively invaded his home and privacy in Mar-a-Lago to get those documents.
Yeah.
And it's a ridiculous legal case, but it will be going through the courts.
Because his lawyers are Rudy Giuliani and the other ilk.
This is what I mean.
Of course they countersued the government. Of course
the safety net. The safety net is he's got bad lawyers and he doesn't pay any of his lawyers. That's the safety net.
Can I
just suing they sue everything.
Can I just interject quickly and say, Cozy has just joined us.
Oh, hi, Cozy. Cozy, would you like to introduce yourself?
You what?
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'll certainly introduce myself. Well, I think I've met everybody on the call. Because I did meet Mikey, was it last time? When you were talking about really somber and really serious topics, and I rocked up in a silly hat.
Yes, you had a clit hat on.
Serious?
Why did you call? How dare you? It's a fringe. Leave it alone.
You had a little clit hat on. It was good. Anyway, you don't have to introduce anyone else. Just yourself, Cozy.
Fucking bastard.
It's a hat.
Everyone's just like, fuck off, Graham.
Quite large.
Graham, why don't you
anyway,
fucking
since
neck
then,
him,
I have died. I have suffered the lurgy.
Oh, no.
Antibiotics and steroids and things, and they're starting to work. But yeah, I'm still death warmed up.
This is why people shouldn't visit France.
Yeah.
Oh, you francophobe. Cozy, can you introduce yourself quickly, just so the viewers at home know?
My name's Cozy.
Okay, that was cool. Right, thanks very much to Yoni for the super chat ages ago, which I didn't come to because we were all having too big a row. In the same world, Biden would dissolve SCOTUS and order repopulated with all the incumbents vetted against their oaths and the laws first. But we don't live in the same world. Thank you very much for the super chat, though. And QI1NNC says, always good to hear you all. It's just like I'm sitting around a bunch of old friends in the pub. who argue with each other incessantly. Thank you very much for that,
Very much, yeah.
Quinnick. €5 there.
Oh, the
but-
smart friends and the wrong friends. I know that group.
It's just I'm far enough away not to punch anyone.
But yeah,
And Mikey
touch
just sat
anyone
down at
anyway,
the
would
wrong
you? Shut
table at
up.
the wrong time, basically.
Anyway, I
What
just
do you mean Star Trek's better than Star Wars?
I just want it to all be over.
Oh,
but-
you're on thin ice now.
What? Did someone say Star
Oh,
Trek
no,
was
I'm
better
with
than Star
Mikey on-
Wars?
I'm with Mikey on this one.
That's what he just
Totally.
said. We can
Oh,
come out with
I
it.
like
I'm
them
actually
both
with you there,
equally.
Mikey. Star Trek is better than Star Wars. I
quite-
just know what it's like when you say that around here.
I'm quite polyamorous when it comes to Star Wars and Star Trek.
I mean, you're a
I
slut.
love them
I'm a
both. You
slut.
kill me.
I'm an absolute slut for Star Wars and for Star Trek. What can I say?
It's dystopia versus utopia.
Why does it have to be one or the other? Do you have to
have
either
to
like
choose.
Game of
It
Thrones
doesn't have to be
or
one
Lord
or
of the
other, but
Rings?
Star Trek is better.
Surely you can like them
Either are-
both.
Either our spaceships are clean and sleek, or they're a bit scruffy and falling apart. You have to choose.
Well, one was a long time ago in a galaxy
Well,
far, far away.
if
and
you
one
I'm-
in
want
the
to put it
future.
this
I'm a
way,
bit scruffy.
watch Lex.
I'm a bit scruffy and
the
falling
future.
apart, and I need a good whack to get me in good working
If
order.
you like
so
your spaceships a little bit scruffy and falling apart, you've got to watch Lex.
yes.
Oh
Lex.
no, Lex was just weird. Well,
Oh,
there
Lex
was-
was.
there was a reason it was on at like 3:00 in the morning on Channel 5.
I have no idea what time
David-
it was on.
David
I don't
Downey-
think it was ever on any kind of channel that anybody has ever heard of.
It was basic.
watched
It
it
was
as
basic.
well.
It was basically a dragonfly with its wings clipped.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a spaceship.
So
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I used to watch like the PBS like documentaries and stuff. And there was a British one, I think it was called Red Dwarf. I think that was probably one of my favorite space documentaries.
That
It was about
Yeah,
our
it was.
It
very
was.
early
It was
all through.
1980s
Really hard-
exploration.
Hard-hitting
Yeah.
documentary, world in action.
Your
Yeah.
intro of Red Dwarf was so sweet.
That and Life of Brian.
In fact, Dave Lister is actually a world-renowned curry connoisseur and critic.
Yeah.
So
You should go to the White House.
Well,
Yeah, well,
Quinn C has just dropped another super chat, essentially saying, "I see your Star Wars and I see you Star Trek, and I raise you Babylon 5."
shut
no.
up.
Shut up.
Bab
Right,
five,
no,
When did-
no.
Tomatoes in the chat.
Yeah.
When did this become nerd social?
Yeah.
Always been
It's
nerd
always
social.
been nerd
We're just
social.
less
We know
nerdy
about
because
this.
Rachel's not
Everyone,
do that
everyone on the
generally.
chat, with the exception
How
of
we do that,
Wayne, is
Wayne?
wearing glasses.
Yeah.
I don't actually need my glasses.
Wayne, where's your glasses, mate?
This is just my face.
There you go. Get
Oh, no.
Wayne's glasses on. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
mine's
nerd
up.
out, baby.
Rondo.
I took mine off.
Let's talk Dungeons and Dragons.
It's Wayne Rodman.
I've never played Dungeons.
Oh,
and
hang on a
Dragons.
minute. No, well, I'm not having that. I'm
Oh,
not
how
having
many
that.
do you got?
It's Wayne Rodman.
Oh, here we go.
We gotta get you a 90.
Oh,
what is happening
It's
right
Wayne Ye
He
Rest.
spent money on
now?
that.
Wayne Ye West. Oh my
He spent
god.
money on that.
Brilliant.
Have you noticed? Wayne
That's
is
in his
actually
house.
we keep calling Wayne a Tory, but he is the only proper socialist in here. He's the only one with a sponsored shirt. But
Yeah, that was given to him free. The arse people. So you're wearing that in solidarity with your man Kia, then, yeah.
Sir Keir, and you salute when you say his name.
Oh, do you salute when he's in the executive box and you're in the stands? And you're getting absolutely teamed down on the veins teaming down on your face, and you know.
To be fair, Gray, whilst he's sitting there in the executive box, I'm watching it on a snide app on my phone.
Oh, okay.
On my sofa. So yeah.
Have you just outed yourself as a pirate?
I don't get the controversy. I
No,
don't
that's just allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay,
I
that's
don't
better.
get it.
Scott doesn't get it. Scott, he was the leader of the opposition and people gave him free
Yeah.
stuff. How dare they?
Yeah.
How dare he say yes? Do you know what? Right, do you know what? Last year, around
I love
December the
free shit.
25th, these people in his family gave him presents. They wrapped them up and everything, the bastards. And he went, "Oh, thank
Right.
you."
Thank you. At least you're being sarcastic about it because I don't understand the outrage. Like,
no, but it,
Presents,
Boris
Scott.
Johnson was given millions
Presents.
and millions.
Yeah.
And I like no, everyone was like, "That's all right." It's all right. Like,
Do I have to declare my ticket for the Stop the Tories party now? Then
No, you have to
Why
declare
did
that
you
you're a
go to that?
Tory. That's
Oh,
what you
yeah.
have to do. You have to declare that you're a massive Tory.
Oh mate, I swear, distance is your friend.
Puninator, thank you very much for being a member for 6 months. It says Trump's last stand will be January the 6th, but spread out.
Again.
Because it's not going to be on the 6th this year, because it's the first Tuesday, isn't it, of the year or something like that.
Gotta make it.
What do you think? There's going to be another friggin' riot?
Right, so what I reckon's going to happen,
Make it.
just to go into my Nostradamus thing, I think Kamala is going to win the election on a knife edge, right? She's going to take Pennsylvania by less than 1%. But she'll win.
She's leading in 2 polls, 55 to 47.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Graham, have you got
doesn't
your
add up, but
have you got your Doc Cotton tea leaves there
Yes.
or something? Yeah.
But then Trump will put his plan into place. It's not his plan, it's the plan of the billionaires who back him, in order to use his legal means to make him president somehow, right? Using fake electors, this whole scheme, whatever. That's going to go into like full effect, and then there's going to be like craziness going down for a few months. There's going to be like riots. There's going to be all like people getting slaughtered left, right, and center. And then in January, right, just on the cusp of him becoming president, it's the day before his inauguration, and basically he dumps Laura Loomer. Is it Laura? Laura Loomer?
Laura Loomer, yeah.
Yeah, he dumps her on her arse, and she'll do him in. And that's it, the end. And then Kamala is president, and
Loomer will get dumped before November. I'm sure.
Okay. To our American colleagues, what do we think of that theory?
Well,
she's bonkers.
If you take the smallpox vaccine, your penis shrinks.
That's what.
What?
That's what.
That's
how that happened.
Is there a limit to how many times you're supposed to get it?
I never had the smallpox vaccine.
You're
oh, Mikey, that reminds me of the big Drish thing. Is that cancer?
I mean,
Graham's talking about it.
It's hysterical. I love his imagination. I think he could write a book.
Oh no!
I think really at the end of the day, right? Graham should stick to traveling instead of predicting America.
I have a question for Mikey and Scott, right? I have a question for the Americans in the room.
Go on.
Do you really think the kind of rioting we saw in 2020 is likely to happen again in 2025?
No.
I feel that it's been there, it's happened, it's given a lot of Americans a wake-up call. They're like, no, hang on a minute, we do actually want to be democratic. This is not, we do want democracy. This is not what we're about. Am I wrong?
I think there's a lot. I agree with what you've said there, but I think also there was a lot though. I think COVID had something to do with it. To be honest, I think there was an immense frustration in America because Americans have this whole sort of idea of freedom, and that is grander than most other countries in the world. I think that there was definitely a frustration there where people, there was a certain type of person that was just so angry that they let off that steam. I don't think the conditions are right again for that.
I mean, most of them are on probation.
Yeah.
So most of them know better. Like, you will not go to DC. You will not go anywhere near the Capitol. You will not. Like, they're all banned for life. So if any of them show up anywhere near that bitch, that is an arrest, and that is a violation of the previous terms. So if they had any longer, because what they typically do is they give them like a big fat 10-year sentence, and then they'll suspend it pending you behave yourself for a year of probation. So if you misbehave during that probationary period, the sentence of Damocles is hanging over your neck, and that will fall down on you, which you deserve the first time.
Mikey, I think this is a bit of an in-joke, but I think the American protesters need to learn a bit from our Swedish friends. That's how you process. You throw a bicycle at a police van. You don't start shooting. You don't start defecating on walls or anything like that. You just get a bicycle and
You don't
chuck-
steal the
No one
you don't
shot
steal the
anyone. Well, the only
lectern.
people that shot, only person was shot was that woman that tried to break in. No, it's so crazy that someone was defending a property by shooting somebody. I mean, they've never heard of that before, right? That was like,
Can't stand your ground in the
if a
Capitol.
militia of people wanted to show up there with a bunch of guns and AR-15s and shit, I mean, there wouldn't be a lot anybody could.
I don't think that we're going to see anything like the attack on the Capitol building again, just because Trump's not president. Like, Biden is the president. If anything like that happens, they're going to get the National Guard in like that.
100%.
But I still think there will be civil unrest. I do think in Dickheadville, Wyoming, there'll be some people kicking off and
things.
Do you know?
Just like the
But that doesn't make
protest.
sense. That doesn't make sense. I have to stop. Why would Wyoming be upset and then have protests in Wyoming?
Because Trump isn't president. Well, Trump didn't win.
It doesn't make
Doesn't win.
They're in front of themselves. Who are they protesting?
Right.
Our country is too big for you guys to think it works the way you think it works.
Yeah,
They are.
It'd be like the
2,000
French
miles away
complaining
from
about Keir
DC.
Starmer's suits, basically.
They are 2,000 miles away from DC. What the hell is marching down the street in Wyoming have to do with DC?
No, it
They
don't mean
wouldn't
marching
do
down the
it.
street. It just
They
means
don't
smashing
do it.
stuff up.
Citation, please.
I think it's more
Like,
likely
can I-
bomb
can I-
more likely
can I-
bomb
He's got
threats,
you
isn't it?
there.
Tell you
Like
about
Springfield.
something that
Say
I
these
watched.
things. No one breaks shit because they lost an election. We're not football fans.
I watched the documentary the other day, the Trump heist, right? And I was struck by something that I didn't at the time really have that much awareness of, which was obviously we were all very aware of what happened on January the 6th. But the run up to it, when they were counting, especially in Georgia, and this Buffalo dude was already shooting his mouth off then, and he was interviewed as well.
The QAnon shaman.
Shaman, yeah.
Oh, he's
Fucking hell.
completely off his fucking rocker. What shocked
said
me was
I'm
the number of
gluten-free in
AR-15s standing
jail.
outside like the town halls where they're doing the counting and stuff like that.
Mhm.
That whole process, it was mental, and that I wonder if that could happen again. That I could maybe see. What do you think, Mikey?
So if y'all think Trump is gonna get another speech on the ellipses, no.
No, I
No,
don't.
he's
No,
not gonna
that's
get
not what
that,
I'm
but
saying.
Is he gonna?
You're not
are
gonna get
they-
a chance
My-
to get everybody all consolidated in one spot.
No, I
and
don't
then
think he
say,
will. I don't think he
"Hey,
will.
Straight down that sidewalk. There's the Capitol building. See you guys down
No,
there."
Mikey,
He will
I
not be
didn't.
doing
No,
that.
that's
I didn't
not what
say
was
that, and I
talking
don't
about.
think that's
was
what's
talking
gonna
about when
happen.
they were actually
that's-
counting the
but that's what-
votes
That's
in
when he
a
was
in a hotly contested state, in a marginal state or a swing state.
okay. We're still talking about January 6th, correct?
No, I'm talking about before that, about the run up to it, like
in the vote itself.
in November, December.
When
they
you're
were
talking about,
counting.
you're talking about like election night and like the nights after.
Yeah, they were storming ballot
Exactly.
offices
Oh,
because
okay. I
Trump
thought you
was
were talking
saying
about
they're stealing the vote.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and
election
that's
workers being
when they were,
intimidated.
intimidated.
And he did.
The
I mean, and Mike, I think you're
electors,
right
you
to
know,
dismiss Graham's conspiracy theories to an extent, but then Trump comes out and says people are eating dogs and cats in Springfield, and
No one believes.
and they
no
get
one
six-
believes that.
They get 6 bomb threats that shut down schools and libraries.
You
and
know
the
who that
local
is?
car
You know who that is?
registration.
It's the blood and soil Nashville Nazi dudes. It's the same
Yeah.
group.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
same
and the
dudes.
Proud Boys are marching
Yeah,
up and down
yeah,
the
but
street.
they exist though, Mikey. They exist.
So they were in Wyoming or whatever, and then they tried in California. They got kicked out. They tried to go down to Disney World. You guys remember that a couple summers ago?
Yeah.
And then they
Storm
all got,
Disney World,
and then
yeah.
they all got jail sentences and stuff like that. And then they got kicked out. So it's the same. It is the same traveling band of miscreants that's
Yeah.
doing the same hate-filled shit. They go from place to place, and Nashville was nice to them, and it's not too far away from Springfield, Ohio, and that's where they're. It's the same group of assholes.
Yeah.
No one in their right mind in that city or
Yep,
anywhere
they're
else
not
in
in
this
their right
country
minds.
thinks that anyone is doing that. And I'm not. And I'm not.
Well,
gonna keep,
Elon
and I'm not-
Musk does.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, he's not in his right mind, is he? So that's fine.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to keep repeating like slurs, you know what I mean, and hate, because that's all it is, and that's their trick,
I
right?
agree.
Is they keep throwing wild shit at people,
Get us to
and
talk the
then,
same
and then they
shit.
make and then they make you defend
Mikey,
yourself.
even if it's
Let's talk
just
about how broke this little ugly motherfucker is, how his hair is disgusting, how
Doesn't
he
it
is
just-
nine
But
trillion
Mikey,
quadrillion years old.
I'm not
and yet all
being a
these little kids are sucking up to him.
I'm
I'd
not
rather-
being
much rather
a
talk.
conspiracy theorist. I'm being a clairvoyancy theorist. I'm like saying this is what I think will happen. It's my opinion of, you know, judging on what's gone before, of what I could see happening going forward. And yeah, you might think that it's completely out of the ordinary to say all this stuff. But I'm sure that if we'd been here 4 years ago and I had said, oh, do you know what?
When
I
you
reckon they're going to
predicted that,
storm
yeah,
the Capitol if he doesn't win. You'll be like, oh, bollocks, they're not going to storm the Capitol. They wouldn't let them. I mean, the National Guard
but
will
say
stop
it, but-
them,
I don't know
surely.
about
You
that.
know,
I think
they've
4
been
years ago,
there,
we might
done
have actually
that.
thought
You
that
know,
was
it's
possible.
been done. They're not going to do it again.
That wasn't my
Can I
point,
ask-
Cozy. My point was that if I said that they were going to do that 4 years ago before they did it,
Yeah, we would
everyone
have
would be
said
like,
they're
oh,
not.
don't be silly, Graham. That wouldn't possibly happen. And I
But the
think that
thing is-
every time that the left gets its arse handed to it, it's because of a failure to just think
See
of
what's
what
coming.
might occur, and don't just dismiss it and go, oh, that'll never happen.
Yeah,
You know, we
Mikey
had our
and Scott,
guys
do you-
over
do
here
you
having a
think it's-
party
Yeah,
the
you're
other
getting-
night
say-
during
I'm
COVID.
saying you're getting the
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
procedure
whoa,
wrong.
whoa.
It's like you're saying that he can do things that structurally
No.
he can't control or do. So then when we
Yeah.
correct that, you say, "Oh, you're delusional." It's like, no, I'm not saying that
It's-
in your realm like those things could happen, but other 5 or 6 other things have to happen also. But you're leaving that out. So that's
Yeah,
all
because
I'm
he-
saying. It's not
He had
that
control
smooth
of
path.
the National Guard, didn't he? Etc.
Yeah.
He was the president. He could
Yeah.
do a lot
It's
of
not
things.
it's not
But
as
it-
smooth a
but
process
Mikey,
as
Scott,
last
do
time.
you-
So when I'm pointing out the fractures in it, it's not that I don't think any of this is possible. I'm saying it can't happen that way.
This time, yeah.
I don't
But
think they're
it-
going to
that's
storm
all.
the. I don't think they're going to storm the Parliament building in America again. I don't think that's going to
No.
happen for the reason I've just
No. The
said
thing-
about Biden
the thing
being
that I'm
president
interested
now.
in, though,
But I do
guys-
think he controls the Supreme Court, and I do think the Supreme Court
Yeah.
control the law. Got a couple of super chats, and I'll come back to Mikey. Thank you very much to Puninator, who says, "My theory. How dare you have a theory, you conspiracy theorist? My theory: the rioting won't be as large, but more spread out. I agree. 2 or 3 idiots let loose in some states that can spread the carnage widespread." Yeah, I could see that. And Quincy says, no matter what the result, Trump will be in hiding because he's afraid of his core and what he's stirred up, says Quincy. I agree to a certain extent with that, of the fact that, you know, if anyone does take him out for a nice meal, it'll probably be one of his supporters. It'll probably be one of the MAGA crowd because they're crazy. But if just 1% of America was crazy, that's 3.3 million people. And it's not just 1%, because there's 35% of them who are just MAGA Republican. They're
thing
taking
that-
their brains out, put it in a jar.
The thing I'd like to know from Scott and Mikey, the way you're talking about it, do you feel that it's kind of like our riots, like a bunch of a small group of right-wing loonies responding to racist stuff and going out there and causing trouble? Is that how you
Literally
regard
that.
these people? Yeah.
I don't. Scott,
Literally
correct
that.
me. Scott, correct me wrong. Have you seen anybody marching or doing anything MAGA related lately, like in this election cycle? Like in
No.
2016,
I'm
they
in
had their.
England, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, never
Yeah,
mind.
sorry.
Well, I mean,
Nobody's perfect.
in 20, well, you had my back. I appreciate the solidarity. And like in 2016, you had like the MAGA flags everywhere. The hats were everywhere. You know, people were being obnoxious and just rowdy fuckheads for like fucking the months and months and months leading up to the election. It is quiet out here.
Mm.
They're like everyone is hurting. Like this economy is booming. La da da da. Yeah, Amazon's making more money. Good for them. Everybody is broke. Everybody is working on things. Everyone's trying to figure out what the next step is. The housing market has been completely pillaged, which was another Republican grand idea, to give all of these venture capitalists a bunch of loans and give them a bunch of It's all like the Republicans have truly fucked us.
Yes.
And the Democrats have been too slow to move, and a lot is bad. I don't think that these low income people have the time and the freedom right now to just go around causing mayhem. they're voting because I troll them on TikTok now. These people sound sad now. Like they used to be very braggadocious. Like they it's like they want this shit to be true now because they are desperate, right? Like they are just so sad because everything sucks. So Trump needs to lose. We need to get a handle on our economy again and get some protections in there for consumers and for the working class. And I think that will probably calm them down a little bit. But yeah, like Scott said earlier, after COVID, they were terrified and they are trapped in the house, and we do not do cages. So if anybody thinks that, oh, they're just going to come and take dude, Americans are something else, man.
I think the Democrats have been complicit in all of this. So that like
we played polite and we lost because of it.
Hang on a minute. Can I just real quick? Like you said something really important there. I think about people like really being on the bones of their ass and really being poor right now. And I think there is a danger if there's an opening towards looting. Like there's a real temptation to looting. That is one thing I can see happening. Because they are so desperate.
We're better than where we were back then, but even back then financially, and you can I watch a lot of LBC on YouTube, but it's the same here. I did 15 years in grocery retail.
Yeah.
People steal because they're hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or they steal like it's food, or when people steal like power drills and like batteries and stuff like that.
Yeah, some of those
maybe 5% of those people are doing it for drugs. But most of the rest of those people, it's because they can't work. And because there's something wrong with them or they have something else. This is like a failing of the society to take care of the least of us.
In my local supermarket, the washing powder and nappies are the things locked in a cupboard that you have to get permission.
Yeah, and razors.
Yeah.
And these are things that are like expensive, but if you're desperate, you kind of don't really have enough for it.
Nappies, they're not expensive.
No, you could nick them. You could
so
nick
necessary. People really need to get them, and there's something
but here's
you
the
don't
thing,
get
Cozy.
in food banks.
All the wine, you could nick anything you want, basically. Like, they are locking away the nappies. And
but it's like when they lock up.
They put tags on steaks now.
Steaks, they put loads of tags on meat. Anything that's like anything over £5, like they slap a tag on it.
It's getting so you can't nick anything anymore, Wayne. That's the thing. I'm starving.
Shocking!
I'm gonna bring back 80s ram raiding.
You know what, Mike?
Too many bollards, mate.
Mike, I spent so much money on those little guns to get those tags off, because they're not reliable, and I got to keep replay. Like it costs me so much money to keep removing these tags.
I actually sell those on Amazon. They don't work. It's just. I'm ripping you all off.
There was a ram raid in Liverpool. I think it was in Old Swan. This was back in this must have been the early 90s, and they ram raided the bank. But when you ram raid, you've kind of got to have two vehicles. So because you've just ruined one. But these lads, they went through the front of the bank in the car, and then they filled the car up full of money. And then they put it into reverse and tried to drive out. They got caught.
How did that go, Graham?
It didn't go so well for them. What can I say?
You know what? There was on one of the local Basildon sites. There was a ram raid that happened in Basildon in the town centre, and I felt nostalgic. I was like,
oh, bless.
It's like when you go to Target and they have those big red balls that are concrete in front. They're like, oh, look, they're so decorative. I'm like, that's for pickup trucks.
It's like
so the pickup trucks can't get in and get out.
Do you remember the IRA? They used to call up where they were going to blow up and tell them. They said, we're going to blow you up in 5 minutes. Get everyone else. They were like the gentleman bombers compared with nowadays. Now it's just kill as many people as possible.
And then the BBC would have
someone else do the voice.
Did I know? They have a site on I remember famously there was that taxi that was outside the BBC building. It's like, right, we're telling you where we're going to set the bomb. So the BBC sent a cameraman up there, everyone out of the way, and the cab went boom. It's like, well, what was the point of that? What have you done?
But now you got, and this is probably very bad taste, but now you've got Israel actually ringing people and telling them, I've just bombed you.
This happened this week. That was something from like 24 or something. Do you know what I mean? Like all the walkie-talkies have got explosives in it. I mean, that is someone's watched a lot of Hollywood movies.
That's naughty as fuck.
That's some serious new modern warfare.
But also, it's a massive crime. It's a massive crime
terrorism.
because they can't
Sounds like
say
Inappropriate
who is
joke alert,
being
right?
hit by it.
But not only that, who's sitting there selling it? Hello, my friend. Would you like to buy a walkie-talkie?
Well, apparently,
Well,
they weren't
obviously
even
managed to
they weren't even
infiltrate the supply
specifically
chain.
targeting Hamas. There's a report out today that says they just put them on the market in
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then someone just pushed
Sorry,
Jesus.
Hezbollah.
Well, that's a
Someone-
crime.
yeah,
That's
so-
an international war crime because you're not allowed to target people.
Civilians,
You're not allowed to
yeah.
target civilians in that way. It's a massive
And there's
war
another
crime.
because they were pages. God forbid that, but they were actually pages. And
Yeah.
they're using those because mobiles can be tracked and pages can't.
Sorry.
anymore.
They had
Sorry.
been
But you-
tracked.
But
So,
where do you wear a pager?
In
So
hospital.
to
it's,
hit?
it's the early
And that's
90s. It's the early 90s calling. Yeah, they want their technology back.
But it,
Yeah,
no,
I
but
mean,
you
I
wear
don't
you wear a
understand how this
pager.
country is using pagers in 2024.
Well,
Okay, so
because
the reason why
mobiles-
they're using
They were
pagers
worried
is
that the
because
IDF
the
were tracking
Israelis
their
had
mobiles.
the
Yeah.
Israelis had hacked their cell phones and they were
Right.
targeting them and their families. So they said, "Stop using your cell phones. We'll use these beepers instead."
Pages
The
and
beepers that they
All
had.
the beeper
Exactly.
can do is
The
show you
beepers-
a telephone number or give you a number to call for
A
a.
message. Yeah,
Yeah, they were
Voicemail.
like the two-way pagers, so they could send like a chat message or whatever.
like a text. Yeah,
Yeah, like a,
We got-
like
Oh,
a
right.
small,
But the-
small matrix text screen. Like,
But
Back in the
using
early
it-
90s, my mom worked for a pager company.
mhm.
but the thing is,
So,
using them as a bomb,
remember 'em.
and I'm
So-
old enough to remember pages. Right, you wear them on your hip, and
Yeah.
therefore they took out children. Because
And not only that,
where's
they
a
made
children
a
where's a
beep-
children's head? It's at your hip level. basically.
Exactly. And also by design, they go beep, beep, beep before they go off in order
Oh,
to
jeez.
make you pick it up so
Pick it up
your
and
hands
look
get
at it.
blown off and look at it so your eyes get blown off, your face gets blown, it goes off in your face, blinding you.
There was a
So
doctor
it
who
is
said they'd taken
designed
out more
to
eyes 10 years
maim.
ago.
And to injure civilians. I'm sorry, there's no two ways around
that's
it. There's no
terrorism.
way Israel can
Yeah, it
say,
is
oh, we're only
terrorism.
targeting
Yeah,
Hezbollah
yeah.
with this, because they're not.
Yeah.
But I mean, on a lighter note, you do realize that in Lebanon tonight, there are no fights over the remote.
No, leave that alone. Yeah, we're
Twirly.
watching Strictly, and that's it.
Thank you very much to Alec Barrett in the chat there. Hezbollah bought the pagers and walkie-talkies from Mossad. Can't prove, but I know. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But if you're
Allegedly.
Hezbollah, you're not going to go on to Mossad.com to buy your
No,
pages,
they didn't
right?
know they were
So-
buying
so
it from Mossad.
They didn't knowingly
No.
do
I
that.
heard
no.
that.
Mossad.
From what
basically.
from what I've read, that they intercepted their order, probably
Oh.
watching their internet stuff, probably intercepted their order at port and did what they needed to do with it, put it back in the box, and sent it on its way.
So
Do what you could do.
Are you blaming Jeff? Are you blaming Jeff?
At the moment,
No,
every,
it was from a Taiwan company that
yeah.
built it in Hungary, and then the Hungary company doesn't exist, but it has the same name as all the entities for certain other entities. So it's like it's a shell company of a shell company that.
But if
Everybody's
the-
denying
the
touching
cargo-
things, aren't they? Basically,
the cargo ship from Taiwan takes a good few weeks. So if you have your Mossad agents on the cargo ship, they can open up the container, take out the
How'd you
things.
know
in
that,
How do you know
Graham?
that?
Do you know
Wait,
that?
how do
Graham?
you- Yeah,
I read
Have
a
you
lot
been
on
on
the
a ship like
internet.
that?
I read a lot on the
you sound
internet.
like
ever-
you sound
ever
like
been
you're
on a
quite
ship for a long
knowledgeable
time?
I'm
about
just
using
quite.
ships.
I'm quite into cargo ships. I've got a little bit of a thing
ever
for
been on
cargo
one?
ships. Just collect them.
Did you go to
You ever-
Taiwan?
I did go to Taiwan, even though it's not a member of the UN, but I regard it as a nation. Even though the lovely men from Map Men said, "Oh, Graham didn't go to all the countries because he didn't include Taiwan." I'm watching it going. I did actually go to Taiwan twice, actually. I also went to Vatican City.
Oh, you keep that quiet.
Have you written about that?
Yes, I've written a book called Man of the World. It's available
Oh, really?
from all bad book publishers. Well, Amazon.
Okay.
Is it available as an audiobook at all?
It is available as an audiobook. Thanks for asking, Wayne.
Is it
I love
read
this
by
kind of-
Andy Serkis?
Has anyone here actually read it or listened to it?
I've got it.
I've seen the Mapman episode that you
chapter
referred to.
7 and 8. No, I have actually read the book as well.
Oh, thanks, Cozy. Rachel's
got
read it. Rachel gave me a really good review. She said it was really good. I was made up.
Where can
did-
you give your
I
review?
downloaded
There's people
I'll
who are-
happily give a
Illegally.
There's
review.
people who are mentioned in the book because, you know, they were my friends or they helped me along the way or whatever, and they haven't read the book. It's entirely frustrating.
That's shocking.
I better check the index.
I wasn't mentioned in the first 2 chapters, so I just binned it.
I didn't know you.
I downloaded Wayne's copy. I pirated his.
Yeah.
He really needs to change his password to not.
I think
Wayne
Graham
is
still
number
gets
one.
paid somehow out of that. That's fine.
Footum Stuck is saying, "You're not a one-man cargo cult, are you, Graham?" Ah, very good, very clever.
Oh, well played.
Lucas
Well, we all
says
worship you, Graham.
should do a weekly stream of you reading a new chapter. Yeah, I should actually. That's probably a good
Yeah,
idea.
you fucking should do that. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, Aesop's tales.
Hayton Pud says, "Does the audiobook speed up at the end because the time booked in the studio was running out?" Yes, probably told that story about 17 times now, so people are bored of it.
Hang on a minute. You've
That
told a
is
story
fair.
17 times.
Yes.
Weird that.
This is all
It's
news
just funny
to me.
because
I know
the last
nothing
few chapters
about
of the
it.
book are like half the length in like the audiobook.
This is brand new information.
Because I'm trying to say it so quick because I had to be out of the
Do you
bloody
think-
studio.
Do you think we should explain that Cozy did tell us that she would be folding
I am
laundry
listening and I am here.
It's
She
kind of
keeps
just appearing
vanishing.
and disappearing.
behind a
Keep
green
blinking.
blanket or something?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm
It's
folding my
cool.
laundry. Well, actually, this gives me a great opportunity
Take off the
to
green
share
screen.
with you a really random piece of Paris Olympics trivia.
Ooh.
Right, I was today years old, and you know, so many weeks past getting my uniform and wearing it every day for whatever 3-4 weeks. I didn't realize that no 2 shirts are the same.
What?
They're all
Really?
different.
What?
Yeah, they're all subtly different. Right, okay, let
They're
me
all
knock off
green
my...
as well. Cozy.
Pardon?
I know
They're all green, so we can't see them.
and they all seem to be sort of like elven cloaks of like mystery.
Invisibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mischief
Okay,
She's-
man.
right.
now she's gone.
So on this one, so it's all sort of this green stripy fabric, right?
hmm
And on this one,
Wonder
the
why it didn't show up on the
stripes
green
go
screen.
lighter at the top and a bit darker at the top, at the bottom. Okay.
Okay.
And this one
Yeah, that's my card.
is darker at the top and gets lighter at the bottom. And this one, so
This
I've
is going to
got
be one of those. Is it gold or blue? Because I saw
Oh,
those
yeah.
the other way around.
I
on
heard
that.
Yanni.
I'm sorry, Stace, but what you said there was really,
Yanni.
really boring.
all right. Point being, this is actually because there's a reason to this, and it's a really good reason. It's a sustainability reason. So what they've done is they've said we don't give a flying monkey's fuck whether they're all the same. We want you to cut them out of the fabric so as to have as little as possible wastage.
No wastage. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay.
So
That's
they
good.
are all slightly different because they are cut from different places in the fabric.
That reminds me of a Mitch Hedberg joke where he talks about Kit Kats and how he wants to go to the Kit Kat factory and ask for his letters.
Oh Jesus.
You
It's
are.
it's a genius way of saving chocolate.
I don't get it.
It's all right.
Sorry.
I don't
I was,
either.
I was getting a refill. What?
I mean, I'm
Super
I
Chats
haven't
come
had a
in.
Kit Kat
If
since
anyone
Nestle
needs
bought it
saving.
because I've been boycotting Nestle longer than they
Mike's just
own
walked
Kit Kat.
off. Mike's just walked
I want
off.
to go
Yeah. Mike's
Fuck
just,
this.
he's like, no, I've had enough of this. This is bullshit.
Quincy has dropped another super chat. Thank you, Quincy. The whole
Cheers,
idea
Quincy.
of the IRA phoning in the warning was to publicise the event to make sure the BBC could be there to publicise the event, allegedly.
That makes sense.
I thought it was to try and help people get out there.
Well,
But no, when
there
they
was
found
the
the
added
places, it
element
was
that
to help
you're
people
not
get
going to
out.
get, accused of killing people, just damaging stuff. That was part of their selling point, as it were. Well, at least we try not to murder people. At least we try
Whereas
to just damage
with
Yeah, but
other
is
forms
it-
of terrorism, the murder is the point, isn't it? They try and kill as
But
many
isn't
Yeah.
isn't that
and then they have a second explosion
isn't-
go off.
isn't that Israel's modus operandi?
Yeah,
in
at
the
the
sense
moment,
of- They're
Shoot
like
the
saying, "Oh no,
helpers.
please don't be there. Please don't be there. Oh, sorry, we bombed you whilst we were sending you the letter."
Yeah.
So I think it's a little. It sounds a little better with hindsight, but given a 5-minute warning nowadays, that'd be fine. We'd all get a text message from the emergency tracking system that we're being tracked with. But back then, somebody would have rung the pub from a police station and said, "Everybody out! You got to." Oh, 1 minute.
It was. I mean,
you've got 30 seconds. And then somebody
they
behind the
typically
bar
gave about an hour.
Yeah, because when they're famously at that Brixton one, where they rung them like well early on, but still people lost their lives because they were like, whatever.
Just another drink.
Just everyone carried on. It's just like, fuck it. I got yet until that bell rings.
I like the fact we're reminiscing about how nice it was to have the IRA terrorists instead of the current lot.
Gentlemen bombers.
Memories like the corners of my mind.
Everything in the past seems better, even though it was absolutely horrid. Like, seriously. Yeah. But talking about absolutely horrid stuff, it turns out that Mohammed Al-Fayed is just as bad as everyone thought he was, if not worse. He's our new Epstein mixed with Jimmy Savile, mixed with Weinstein. My God. And
that's
is
why
anyone
men want money and power, so they can rape young girls.
Yes. Is anyone going to shop in Harrods ever again? I know we sold it in 2010, but they were complicit apparently in what happened.
No, not the new owners.
Seriously, think about my food shopping tomorrow. I might not go.
Listen to Mike. Listen to Mike.
Because you shop in Harrods. Of course you do. Have any of us ever shopped in Harrods?
Cozy, from now on, it'll be Fortnum and Masons and nowhere else.
I'm coming round to yours for dinner.
Sorry, I meant Aldi rather than Lidl.
Yeah, Mike is yellow.
Fortnum and Mason, I can live with.
Mike is yellow label at fucking Aldi every day.
Yeah, totally.
He's there elbowing people out of the way.
I know exactly what time they put those labels on, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aldi
scumbag,
and all of the night. We go to the.
Has anyone watched the the Prince Andrew drama? Emily.
No. You wait ages for a dramatization of that interview to come along, and two of them come at once.
This one was better than the one on Netflix.
Okay,
it's better.
Really,
it's worth watching. Yeah, it's initially you don't think the casting quite works, but actually it does, and it's Andrew.
But does he sweat?
Yes,
he sweats throughout this. Yeah, because they show his side of the story to an extent.
Galsworthy syndrome. He doesn't sweat.
Yeah, no, it's you see him coming up with that excuse. He
doesn't sweat.
Yeah. I watched.
You know what an idiot entitled nonce is how he comes across.
A fella, another billionaire who's a nonce who thinks he's above the law, which is all of them. Yeah. All the billionaires of the world, male billionaires of the world, think they're above the law. No, she's not a male.
Actually, the one female billionaire I can think of isn't much nicer either.
What, Taylor Swift? She's lovely.
Oh, is she a billionaire? Oh, I'll take it all back. No, I was thinking of the one that looks like a man.
What, the model who was married to David Bowie? What?
Your man doesn't look like a man.
And
I thought you said she looks like a man who was married to David Bowie, the model.
And J.K. Rowling, a billionaire.
J.K. Rowling looks like a man.
Is she still a thing?
I was hoping that she'd just gone away. I was.
Rowling, no.
She just shut up and gone away.
I don't know.
I thought she finished after the 5th book. Is there another Harry Potter?
No, she's the mold princess.
Oh, no, she's called Robert Galbraith now. Remember, she's a man.
Right. She's allowed to identify as a man.
Yeah. As soon as I saw her ass, I was like, for fuck's sake, you're a billionaire and you can't afford a fucking dehumidifier. Have a word with yourself, love.
It's a drawing. It's a drawing on the wall. It was a drawing.
To be fair, Wayne, she's made of mostly salt. It dries out the room pretty good.
But yeah, the thing is that she typifies a group of people who are incredibly transphobic, and they have no need to be. They have no reason to be. The reason she gave when she wrote a big spiel called Turf Wars, she said that she was abused by a man, and that's why I hate trans women. And I'm just like, but it was a man. It just seems so bizarre to me. It's just this whole thing of like, you see something horrible happen or something horrible happens to you, on this side of the road. And so you cross over to the other side of the road and just punch a random person in the face and go, that's for that thing that happened. And they're like,
You should
why did you
feel
do
as
that?
bad as me.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Right, listen, I was sexually abused as a child by a white guy and raped when I was 19 by a black guy. So I hate the lot of you. Come on. Like you were just saying, Graham, it's ridiculous that she's taking this twisted worldview that anybody who happens to have a penis is an abuser.
Yeah.
Potentially, yes. So are people born with vaginas. Women abuse too. Very much more rarely, but
But whenever I put
do you hate
something on
women?
social media about a man doing something awful and saying, bloody hell, man, someone will always come back and say, it's not all men. It's not all men. Some men are all right. And you know what? Some women just make it up. And I'm like, I'm more likely to be sexually abused by another man than to be accused of sexual abuse by a woman.
I told
Statistically.
Tony one about that, Graham.
Sorry, Scott.
And isn't it funny? The latest scandal is a high-profile broadcaster, white broadcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welsh.
Yeah, Welsh
That might
broadcaster.
be something to do with it.
But no one.
Welsh viewers. Hi, Nick.
Yeah. Yeah. Shamai. But
said Borders reckoned that she got sacked a lot more quickly while he was just suspended on full pay and never got the sack.
Yep.
I don't know whether that's a fair comparison because of course the obvious
different
difference is she's
contracts.
female, he's male, but he was in a much more prestigious position than she was.
and not only that, you've got to remember that when it comes to on-air talent, they're all self-employed, so their contracts will be
Are they?
complete. Yeah, of
Even
course
somebody
they are.
like the main anchor on BBC News?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
They're all bespoke contracts. So everyone
Zero
that you
hour
see,
contracts.
everyone that you see on TV, who is an anchor or a presenter or anything, they are all self-employed. Because there was what was it? Is it IR35?
IR35, yeah.
Yeah. So they're all kicking off about this IR35, which basically says they're not employees. They are employees, but they're self-employed.
Oh, is that what Gary Lineker was talking about?
Yes.
Lineker's the one that kicked all that off, really.
Yeah.
Because that's why he did.
Understood.
That's why he
understand the
worked for
difference.
BT
For
and
some
various
reason, I
others.
thought Hugh Edwards was actually an employee.
No, everyone who's on screen is.
Wow. So
classed.
even like your news anchors, your really regular, your Krishna Gurumurthys,
Everyone.
that sort of thing.
Everyone.
Wow.
So
Feels a bit like a swindle.
You've either got staff, which will be your production team, your runners, all that,
So
your
they're
directors,
employees.
and then anyone on screen is classed as talent. So if you're classed as
Right.
talent, then you're self-employed. That's why all these people have agents, because they have to get. That's why they can do multiple gigs.
Do you think that is in part an attempt to subcontract away accountability?
Yes,
Yeah,
but also so they
100%.
don't have to pay people
100%.
who are stupid or poor and can't afford an agent or can't get an agent to make sure that they don't get absolutely screwed over by the BBC.
Yeah.
Or any other major broadcaster, not just the BBC.
Yeah, so
distributors of
everyone, like for instance, Global, if they're production, broadcast assistant, runner, assistant producer, they're all staff. But the people that you hear on the radio, they're all talent, which means they're on individual contracts, which means that they
Also, ensures their freedom of speech to a degree. So it's not.
Yeah.
Well, they're
thing.
supposed
They
to,
have-
but
they
obviously
still
Carol
abide by the
Vorderman didn't
rules.
have that when she was at the BBC.
Yeah.
They said you can't put your political views online, and it was like, you do know the guy who hosted a show called, what was it, The Politics Show, was also the editor of The Spectator, the right wing magazine,
Right.
piece of shit. At the same time, pumping out just absolute bollocks. This was the magazine that had Boris Johnson working for it when he
Yeah.
said that the
That was just
the
the craziest
Liverpool
period.
was just a bunch of victim complex
Andrew
people.
Neil.
Yes, the big fat slug.
Andrew Neil.
He looks like the big cow thing that wants to be the cow pig thing that wants to be eaten in the restaurant at the end of the universe.
I have a
Yeah,
I have a
that's a
lovely
really good
clip.
comparison, actually.
I have a lovely clip of Andrew Neil discussing my Trumpton Twitter account with the UKIP PR representative on the politics.
Did he say he wants to? He can highly recommend my. I can highly recommend my rump.
Yeah.
What did he
Well,
say
where's
about?
Andy
What did he say about your Trumpton account?
That's when the whole thing blew up because UKIP took offense. At the time, they were hunting around for fake UKIP accounts because there was a lot of people setting up fake UKIP accounts on Twitter, and I set up Trumpton UKIP, and they called me out
Of course you did.
publicly and said that's a fake account, and I said, what was it about the fucking puppets that gave me away? And it ended up on the front page of the FT and the Guardian the next day, and then Andrew Neil picked
It's
it
not
up
fake
on
at
the
all.
Sunday.
It's a genuine Trumpton account.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And the
that's
PR guy sat there and he said, actually, he said, oh, I'm not offended at all. In fact, I tweeted them and said it was very funny. And then I reposted what he actually sent me as a DM, which was, we are coming for you, basically.
Oh, charming.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Not exactly saying it was very funny. But
Did they come for you?
Are
No,
we talking
not
about Mark Robinson already?
Was it a pleasant
Hey.
sight?
we back to Mark Robinson and Hugh Edwards.
Yeah, Mark Robinson. No, I mean, Mikey, do you think that this is the nail in the coffin then for the Trump campaign? Because he
No,
needs to
not
win
for the
North
Trump
Carolina,
campaign.
doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Nikki's going to turn on him in a couple of days here. I'm waiting on it. That's my prediction.
Nikki Haley.
Yep.
Hasn't she already
You think?
turned on him though? She slagged him off something rotten during the primaries.
But she hasn't endorsed Kamala. I think she'll endorse Kamala.
Do you think?
Yeah.
That would be quite big,
What?
wouldn't it?
He made it. JD Vance made an Indian joke. I think that'll piss her off.
Yeah.
But isn't
She's
JD
very
Vance's
petty.
wife Indian?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and his
but she
kids
doesn't
are
get to
half Indian.
talk
This
or
is
anything.
but this is
Oh,
what Trump.
but
This is Trump's
No,
MO.
but
Is
she's
to go.
okay. They, she's the unacceptable kind.
Yeah, but he's done it with everybody, Rubio and
Yeah.
the lot. He insults their wives and families, and then they end up sucking up to him, and then they end up dumping him, don't they? So
Well, when he does that to Laura Loma, she's going to want to play a game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's the one with
At least a smile.
the key to his
Well-
escape in his eyeball.
So on this black Nazi guy, Mikey, he's going to turn, is he? Because Trump's going to dump him. Surely he's going to say, "I never met the guy."
Isn't
Even though
there,
there's
a thing?
hundreds.
hundreds.
Isn't there a
Themselves.
countdown till midnight tonight for him to be dropped out of the
But-
race?
I think it was last night.
Oh,
But
was
then
it?
doesn't he? He seems like a loose cannon. If Trump dumps him, he's just
He
going to
was-
go release
He
himself.
was like Herschel
onto-
Walker, like just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
charismatic preacher man look, but he's like an actual preacher, so he got real good bigotry that he can put out there on a microphone. And as long as you're making fun of another group, they'll tolerate you. But no, what's that? You've been looking at what kind of pornography and got caught? Oh no, I could never associate with a man like this. So
The man that gets caught, I can't do that.
yeah, what
you know,
kind of
so-
man gets caught?
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
he,
thing is, like, I don't even think his views are too strange for like the rest of his like constituents. Like, it's probably pretty normal for you to be a little curious about other stuff, guy. You're of a certain age where that wasn't an option to you, and now it is an option, and you like it. Cool. And I just want to make sure, like, I don't kink shame people. Like, if that's what you're into, dude, then that's what you're into. But don't literally go out on stage saying the most
So you're
bigoted,
opposed to it,
transphobic shit you ever heard in your life just because you're struggling internally. Like, dude, you fucking grow up, dude. No one cares that you're fucking struggling with yourself. Stop being mean.
That's what we said earlier.
We'll go back to this in a moment, but I just want to skip over to Georgia from North Carolina and just say the election board there is requiring ballots to be hand counted.
Yeah.
This was a 5-person vote, and it went 3-2 to do this, with 3 Trump allies supporting the move and a Democratic and independent GOP appointed member of the board strongly opposing it, calling it an added step that could delay the results of the presidential election in the battleground states. No, it will delay the election results, and it'll keep getting delayed, and there'll also recounts and recounts and recounts.
Couple of days of counting with no result.
And if there's no result by January the 5th or 6th or whatever it is next year, who's to say who the electors need to back?
Did you also see that a lot of judges, I mean, they're not Trump appointed judges, so they don't count. But they said that they will be prosecuting people who do not do their jobs.
Yeah.
So they can try to drag their feet, but if they drag their feet in an illegal fashion, then
I'm not saying that anything they're going to do is illegal, because they can make it legal. They've just made it legal that they have to hand count the ballots of millions and millions of people in Georgia, which they don't have the resources to do. They don't have the staff to do that. It's going to take weeks just to do the ballot.
Go get in your bed. In your bed.
All right, I'm going in my bed.
All right, Wayne.
All right, Wayne.
We're just
Don't shout.
trying to be sociable.
He's just telling me to go to bed.
Not
I
tired.
don't want to go to bed. It's not my
The
bedtime.
sun's out.
He says this to me most nights, guys.
Anyway, I'm just really hoping that this lunatic in North Carolina becomes an albatross around the neck of Trump because he likes trans porn. I mean, that's it. That for the MAGAs.
He shakes this stuff off
Right.
so remarkably, though, doesn't he? It doesn't stick at all.
Never
on
mind
Trump.
the I'm a black Nazi thing. I thought they were all with the solidarity for Israel thing. Oh wait.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
they're still anti-Semitic. They're still Republicans. So this like
Yes.
illusion
Yeah.
that the Republicans
Wasn't he-
are so
Trump was a-
pro-Israel and pro-Jew is like the
Yeah.
most ridiculous thing ever. Like the stand back and stand by was when the dudes were chanting the Jews will not replace.
it.
Like it's laughable.
But did you see Trump was at a I don't know what Jewish for Republican type convention thing he was speaking at yesterday.
AIPAC?
Right, and he stood up and said, if we lose this election, it'll be down to the Jews. Literally,
Yeah.
that was his sentence.
It'll be their
And he's
fault
talking
if
to a
we
Jewish
lose.
audience. It'll be
Yeah.
Who said
the
that?
Jews' fault.
Who
Trump.
said that? Trump.
He's, literally, he goes to a conference
Jesus
to talk about
Christ.
anti-Semitism and anti-Israel, basically, and he's literally says, "If I lose this, it will be your fault."
They
That's
just don't
because he's
come out
saying
and
you have to
vote.
vote for me. If you don't vote for me and I lose, it'll be your fault you didn't vote for me.
That's kind of the context, but the sentence was,
Yeah.
"It will be."
I
the
know,
Jewish
but
Yeah,
people's
essentially,
fault.
it'll be their
context
fault.
is everything, you know. So
Did you guys see Senator Kennedy talking with the discrimination people? Oh, it was horrible.
Is this Robert Kennedy, the lunatic with the worm in his brain?
No. Louisiana. The one from Louisiana. Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh,
Yeah.
not part of the Kennedy clan. This is just a guy who just happens to be called Kennedy, right?
The
No,
non-Kennedy
different one.
Kennedy.
Yeah, the anti-Kennedy.
Yeah, I don't think the other Kennedy's even a senator or anything. He's not.
No, he's not.
No, he's
no.
just famous for being
The
famous.
name, yeah.
So what? How did it go, Mikey? What did he do?
The exclamation point and the teaser to get you guys to all watch it was about 90 minutes. He told this doctor, this Muslim woman, that he asked her if she supports Hamas, and this is after like 5 or 6 different senators. So she's like, "Oh my God, here we go." She's like, "I'm glad you asked that question because it demonstrates
I saw that.
exactly what we're talking." So he doesn't get that. So it's like, so what about Hezbollah? What about Iran? Don't you love Iran? And he's just talking over, and just this whole horrible thing is going on. People are gasping in the audience. And he's like, you know what? You love all these people and you hate Israel. Why don't you just go stick your head in a bag?
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, it was awful.
So, because Piers Morgan is the worst for this. He's like, do you condemn Hamas? He's opening fucking question for everyone. It's like, of course.
It's funny.
Not
It's
answering
funny
it.
how
I
they
don't
never
have to.
ask. They never ask us white guys to defend Hugh Edwards, do they? Like,
No,
No.
Yeah.
it's a racist question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone in Wales to defend Hugh Edwards.
Yeah.
It's funny that, isn't it? That we don't have to defend.
Why don't I have to
Why
defend
don't the
you?
Welsh actually why doesn't somebody from the Welsh government stand up and say, we don't
Yeah.
support Hugh Edwards in this? Because it's
just so we know
I think
that
their
they don't support
silence,
Hugh
Can you
Edwards.
Can you
their
condemn it?
silence is quite telling.
Silence is violence.
I don't get it. But
Yeah,
whenever
I
they
think
want
we
to
should
make
invade Wales.
whenever they want to make a certain group subjugate themselves to the higher group, is what they do. They make you say shit, and they try to control your language and control your speech, and then they'll cut you off. And it was just like, honestly, there was some domestic violence in my house growing up. It was a little hard to watch. You know what I mean? Because you can tell, like, that's who this motherfucker is at home. And I just worry about all the women in his life who he's voting to, like, take all of their reproductive health away. Like, these are the kind of dudes, you know what I mean? They just shout over the top of everybody, and they're just these assholes. These are the old white dudes that are writing the laws. Or blocking the laws, you know what I mean? Or blocking the money, or blocking. These are the dudes.
But this is the thing. Like to your point, Mikey, about that being a racist question. It's a case of, why is it only certain groups are you have to say, do you disown these people, or condemn these people, or whatever it may be? Why is it always either people of color or people that are deemed as less powerful? Why is it always that question that gets asked? But when it's the rich and the powerful, the demographic never gets sort of spoken about. Radio broadcaster, TV presenter.
Yeah. We should have billionaires having to defend other billionaires. Or just like millionaires. Yeah, so you could say to all, like, anyone who's rich, you need to defend Jeffrey Epstein. You need to defend Mohammed Al-Fayed right now, because you're rich and he's rich. So you're both obviously...
you're both the same. You're the same.
Yeah.
You must
Jimmy
all be
Savile.
doing the same things. Share the same common values.
Actually, with rich people, they probably are. Because they're rich. They think they're above the law. Yeah, they think they're special. Everyone likes to think they're special, but some people take it a little bit too far. They think they're so special that the laws don't apply to them.
Yeah, but it's just frustrating, because it seems to be the opening question for everyone these days.
And I think quite often, certainly with the Muslim side of things, I think their countries don't tend to have spokespeople for the whole of Islam. It's like nobody ever goes and asks the King of Saudi Arabia to deny terrorism, but he's a Muslim, but they don't go and ask him, basically, because he's a king and he's very rich, and we need all their oil. And then who would you? There isn't anybody that you could identify as a leader, and that's why they do it, because there's nobody that can actually come out and speak for any of these people. So,
but again, to just always lump, why don't the Muslims have a grand message to get out? It's like, well, why don't the blacks have a leader to let us know? It's like, okay, first of all, I'm a citizen wherever I live, you know what I mean? But you get lumped in together because that's the Western white dude way of categorizing stuff. So if you don't have a Western white guy category already pre-selected, it's like, well, other countries don't have that shit because, motherfucker, they don't live where you are. But their shit isn't set up like how it's set up.
There's also
let me land that plane. I'm almost done. And there are ways that people can, like, get out of definitely problematic ways of living their lives, obviously. And everybody should help them, but you don't help them by killing them.
But there's also a pre-subscribed narrative that's already sort of like installed in people, where, like, you go to, like, say that the pro-Palestinian marches that was happening in London over the summer. You've got Hasidic Jews, the most ultra-orthodox Jewish people. They've got their Shylocks, they've got all their gear on, and they're saying, no, we want a two-state solution. And then the first thing that comes out of people's mouths is, they're self-hating Jews.
Yeah, but I don't
know if that's the first thing that comes out of most people's mouths.
No, but I'm not sure if this fact is true, so I'm happy to be fact checked in the chat.
It is
but,
true, actually.
I think Hasidic Jews actually don't recognise the state of Israel, do they?
No, they don't.
Some of them.
Some do.
Yeah,
Right,
you
so
can't.
some do, but
can't-
No, but I thought it was part of that religion is that actually
They're not supposed to have a state.
we're Palestinian Jews.
No,
we shouldn't have a
there's
state.
there's a subsect of very religious Jews who don't believe in Israel, but they are a very small subset of them.
in my
a lot of Hasidic Jews live in Israel.
In my experience, like, and this is completely sort of like subjective. I have done. Shut up, dickhead. I have done so many jobs in Stamford Hill, which is the most like most densely populated Hasidic Jewish population
area in London.
of London, and you do not see a Star of David in their house. You do not see a Star of David
because in
or an
Hasidism
Israeli flag.
they do oppose Zionism. So I've just looked it up, and Wikipedia says while ideologically opposed to Zionism, the moderate Hasidic groups of Ger, Breslov, Vizhnitz, Belz, and Klausenberg do vote in the Israeli elections and accept Israeli government funding.
Yeah, right.
So there you have it.
Everybody.
But yeah,
you do have Hasidic Jews in Israel as well.
I've cracked the code, by the way, if you don't want to be called anti-Semitic. Right, so you can slag off Israel as much as you like, slag off the Prime Minister of Israel, the government of Israel, the army, the navy, the air force of Israel. Just don't use the word Zionist, and then no one will accuse you of being anti-Semitic. Yeah. That's all you need to do. Don't use the Z word, because although you think it means something when it comes out your mouth, when it goes in certain people's ears, it means something else.
It comes out something. Yeah.
The thing is, I've stopped using the word Zionism and anti-Zionism completely, because as a Gentile, I don't actually feel adequately equipped to do so. And I've had it pointed out to me by Jews that there is a spiritual element to Zionism, or and it's as a spiritualist version of Zionism that has nothing to do with politics.
That's very convenient for them.
Well, it muddies the waters. Okay.
Yeah, that muddy water.
It's just a tip. It's just a tip. If you are worried about possibly being accused of being anti-Semitic, just try not using the Z word, and suddenly you can get away with slagging off Israel left, right, and centre. Because honestly, it does deserve a lot of slagging off at the moment for what it's been doing for the last year.
Right to point out the failings of the state of Israel and the human rights abuses of the Israeli Defense Force. There's nothing wrong with that. And to lump all of that together under the banner of Zionism is actually not really appropriate.
It's not helpful, because it means different things to different people. That is the big problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. And some people, when they talk about the Zionists, they really mean the Jews. They do. They just do. I know you might not think that.
No, it's true.
But other people, that's exactly what they're saying.
But this is the thing. You've got two different issues going on here. You've got people that will conflate to defend, and you've got people that will conflate to offend. So so I can state that I do not like what the Israeli government is doing, and someone who wants to attack me will say, "Oh, you're an anti-Semite." I'm like,
well,
no, I'm just not liking.
Remember those emails you sent me, Wayne?
Yeah, but Mikey.
Curled my toes in me.
Mikey, they're not for public divulsion.
Guys, I gotta go, so I gotta get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott,
have you?
Sorry, no, I gotta be at the shop at 8:30 tomorrow.
Have you cut some hair tomorrow?
Go cut some hair
tomorrow. Yeah.
You wonderful man. Go cut some hair. And we will see you again, I hope, next week.
100%. I know there was never going to be a good time in this conversation to say this. It looks like I'm pussying out by not wanting to contribute, but because it's such a touchy subject. But
it's because you're a massive homosexual.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, we start talking about anti-Zionism, anti-Semitism, and Scott's like, "I'm out of here."
It's gone. I'm gone.
Scott is a self.
I got a thing in the morning.
Massive homosexual.
I am huge.
We love you, Scott.
Nice.
He's got a little winkle.
On that.
You know what, Wayne? We can do that picture exchange if you like.
Yeah, bruv, I can see the Photoshop and I can see
Scott,
the
we're still
metadata, so-
streaming, Scott. We're still going out live.
Okay, see you guys later. Bye.
You
Cut to commercial.
You have
Cut
to
to commercial.
include the ruler, Wayne. You have to include the ruler.
We should sell
What
special
kind of
rulers.
monster demands a ruler.
We should sell special rulers that are only that long, but like they're marked for 6 inches.
The marked. Yeah.
Yeah, Scott used a fisheye lens.
Alec Barrett, thank you very
Hail
much
down
for the
rulers
super chat,
and
Alec.
dick pics.
The office of the Sunni Pope equivalent was abolished by Ataturk, the founder of Turkey. Well, there you go. So there was a Sunni Pope equivalent, which was, I guess, because you
There
had
you
the Sunni religion and the Shiite religion, but neither of them have a Pope at the moment. Yes, David Downey's leaving us.
Ayatollah, not a pope.
See you on Monday, Graham. See you on Monday, David. Sorry, who's a Pope? What?
Surely that would be an Ayatollah, not a pope.
No, it's Ayatollah's a different religious post, isn't it? Because it's
Well, they're the leaders of the Shiites.
no, but I thought that was just for Iran. It wasn't actually over the border. So if you're a Shiite in Lebanon or you're a Shiite,
Yeah, you got Shia
Yemen
and
or something.
Shiite. Yeah.
you
That's a
don't
really good
follow the
question.
Ayatollah. In the same way that if you're a follower of the Pope, you might be from Poland or you might be from
Because
South America.
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Shiites are the new ones and Shia is the old school. So
No.
basically,
No,
like-
No, Shia and Shiite is the same.
It's the same.
No, they're
yes.
not.
Shia and
No.
Sunni And Wahhabism.
I was speaking to my friend Bukta the other day about this, and he said the Shia
AKA Muhammad.
he's-
This
Yeah.
is
yeah.
my best mate Mohammed from the Taliban.
My best
To
friend
quote Donald
Muhammad
Trump.
from the
Mike,
Quran.
wind your neck in.
I'm just quoting Donald Trump.
No.
Yeah.
So Shia are the older sort of what do you call it? Old Testament, and the Shia are the New Testament. That kind of
No.
thing. That's how
No,
he explained.
No,
Wayne,
it's about
you weren't
Oh,
it's about the
listening.
descendants. It's about the descendants of Muhammad.
Yeah, it's who was
Yeah,
in charge of the
yeah.
church
So-
after
so- They
Muhammad
couldn't-
died. And the
so-
Shiites
they
said
couldn't
it was
decide.
one and the Sunnis said it was the
Yeah,
other.
so
Wind your
Yeah.
necks in. Wayne's got this. All right, go ahead.
Ayatollah is an honorific title for high-ranking Shia clergy. In Iran, it came into widespread usage in the 20th century, but I think it's been around longer. and
But I
more
don't think it's
universally.
recognised. I don't think an Ayatollah is necessarily recognised by Shias
No,
or Shiites
you
who don't
might
live
very
in
well be right
Iran.
there, but I think it's not originally only in Iran, but following the
Well, I
the
mean, Iran,
revolution.
as we know it today, didn't really exist.
exactly.
It was Persia for a long time, and its borders were kind of fuzzy. I mean, a lot of the people who lived in those areas, who still live in those areas, were nomadic. They would move because it gets bloody
Yeah,
hot.
absolutely.
It gets bloody hot. You can't just stay in the wall no oasis
Yeah.
So
the whole year, you know?
Great,
Yeah.
great. You've got to remember anything that's got a straight line as a border.
I was going to say,
means
yeah.
There we go.
So here's the
we
funny
did
thing:
it.
if you're
Here we
not
go.
Muslim, you can't be buried in Saudi Arabia. So if you cark it in Saudi Arabia, you
have to be
you
repatriated.
have to be moved out of Saudi Arabia before you can be buried. But the border between Saudi and Iraq is just a straight line drawn in the desert by a British guy 80
Yeah.
years ago. Like it's got knocked back.
Tragedy.
I'm back. Hello.
There we go. Someone
I'm getting a
fix that up
message
for
saying
us.
my internet is unstable. That's the only thing that's unstable around here.
Oh, look at this, Graham. My internet is solid as
And what's
fuck.
happening on Monday?
Monday. We are having a Politics Social live and in person. So this is obviously live, but in person at the Ship and Mitre on Dale Street in Liverpool. It's only 9 minutes walk from the main train station of Lime Street. And if anyone wants to come along, the tickets are free. I was going to say the ticket link is in the description, but it's not actually because I haven't put it in. Yes, I have. Yeah,
Oh, you
put it
better
in.
put it in.
No, I'll put it in there. I'll put it in there.
apologies. For some reason, I thought you were starting at 6. So after I realised
Yeah,
that
that was last year, Cozy. Keep up at the back. That was an entire year ago. But no, we're starting at 7:30. It's just 7:30 till 8:30.
I'll be on a train to.
And then we've got the pub till
Doncaster.
11. So if people want to hang around, we can have some real
No,
ale.
I'll be on a train to Doncaster.
Why are you going to Doncaster? What the hell is in Doncaster?
Well, I'm not actually
My
stopping
head
in
office.
Doncaster. I'm meeting my friend and staying at hers in Rotherham, and then we're going down
I'm
to
so
London together
sorry.
the next day.
Wait.
So,
Oh, you can't go to Rotherham. Don't tell.
Can I try my
Don't tell Uncle
apology?
Phil that you
I
go
would
to
love
Doncaster.
and I just, when I
Liverpool.
booked it, it was doing my head in because it was costing an arm and a flipping leg
Yeah.
to go to London, and
Yeah.
it was like, do I want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning? Blah 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 blah, and it was just,
What time you starting on?
and I just completely forgot.
It's 7:30 at the hopping.
But
at
it's just,
Ship
yeah,
and
it starts
Mitre.
at 7:30.
Right,
Ship and Mitre.
I might be able to do that in the van.
Am I going to do it with you in the van? Excellent. Good stuff.
Why don't we do it in the
Is he talking to
van?
Scott? Has he got Scott on a private
Dunno.
channel? Is what
Yeah.
we're doing?
Oh, we do it in the
Start-
van.
start a
But
private
Graham,
channel.
is it the first day of the
No,
conference?
I've got.
No, the first day is well, I think it's Saturday night actually, but Sunday's the first day. So I should be meeting
when
up
are
with
you
Femi.
around?
Although Femi's not having too many, he's having a bit of trouble with getting in. So I don't know if he's gonna be going to that, or he might just come to the talk and then
Yeah,
go back afterwards.
I've got 2 jobs that day, and I should be done by around 11 o'clock. So I should be able to drive up.
No one wants to hear your scheduling.
That is a great song,
getting it.
Mikey.
I would love to come, but I'm going to Madrid.
Oh, that's nice. Also, you live in
Nice.
Brighton,
See
which
some
is
real
a
football.
fuckload away.
Hold up. Right, look at Cozy.
No, hang on. Let me explain. My grandson lives in Madrid, so I'm going to
You
go
have
and
a
visit my grandson.
grandson. You don't look old enough.
Does.
Who I haven't
And
seen
you've
for
paid
3
it
months.
by not smoking. Massive kudos to you.
Massively, yeah. Over and over again.
Good
I would have thought great grandson looking at your
Listen
Thanks,
to
Wayne.
him.
Wait.
pictures.
I'm
There's
I'm
pictures you
I'm
wanted
still
me to
waiting.
No
do.
I'm still waiting
trolls.
for him.
I know.
No
I'm still waiting
trolls,
for him.
Wayne. No trolls. You know what that
Every-
means? We don't troll people around here.
Doesn't
Every
Wayne-
ageist comment like that, Wayne, I just delay the pictures because I'm just an old man. I can't
Yeah.
show you pictures. for
Yeah.
you, Wayne.
And me, Mike.
It's been like 6 weeks.
God.
Wayne, don't you have some?
They're
poop
hard to
scoop?
do. I've explained that one.
Typical
I know.
Tory Wayne. Anyway, Puninator, thank you very much for the super chat. That's really kind of you. Earlier this year, I tried to moderate a conversation between two peeps who are on opposite sides of the Hamas conflict. I support a two-state solution, but believe both sides have done wrong. Both ended up deciding I'm the enemy, said Puninator. Yeah. Another thing that you need to not do if you're going to pretend that you want peace in the Middle East is go around waving Israeli flags or go around waving Palestinian flags, because you're kind of putting your mark in the line in the sand there, saying you're on one side or the other. You're not necessarily on the side of peace.
Yeah.
I put this out in the show earlier this week. I said, if you turn up to a football match like Wayne, like a full kit wanker, and he says to you, "Oh, I don't care who wins. I just want peace." You're
I'm
like,
just
no,
there for the sport.
yeah, no, you want Arsenal to win, mate. Obviously,
Yeah.
or West Ham in Wayne's case.
Do you get
Oh,
that in
us.
Liverpool? We have on Saturday. There's literally a flag battle just two streets down from me on the in the centre of Brighton.
What?
And the
a
flagpole.
flag battle.
There's Palestinian flags and Israeli flags,
Oh.
and the way they're competing with each other is to get
Oh, it's
longer and longer
pathetic.
flag poles, and they just
They
start
they
whipping.
turn up with fishing rods.
You
Yeah,
know they
whipping
do
and
this
shouting.
in the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. They keep up
Yeah.
putting up slightly
Yeah.
bigger
Do you know-
flags, and now the
And
flags
North
are
Road,
the
Brighton.
size of a football pitch on like
Do you know-
on like a 250 meter long, a meter high flagpole. They put it up in the morning. My flag's bigger than your flag.
That would be better than killing people. Just
Yeah.
look at the size of my
Wars.
flag. It's like, oh, do you know what? Yeah, you're done, mate. All right, lads.
Yeah.
Right, we can go home.
Vendetta
Vendetta
says, what about both flags? Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yes. That would work.
My favorite flag story was I went to Belfast on a business trip, and I got a taxi. And as we're driving into Belfast, there was Union Jacks halfway up all the lampposts, and they're not at the top of the lamppost; they're halfway up the lamppost. And I said to the taxi driver, "Has somebody died? Have I missed something while I was on the plane?" And he said, "No." He said, "That's as tall as the ladders are." Nobody's got a ladder tall enough to
Fair
put
play.
a flag on the top of the lamppost. So. Very
It's all a
Irish
half
answer.
mast for the loss of the
It's not half mast. It's just necessity.
yeah.
we can't go any higher.
We've got some
Unless
love
you're gonna-
coming in for Mike here.
shimmy up.
Now we're going down the pub.
We've got Quincy saying, Mike, thanks for all the music work. Smiley face. So, Mike, are you doing work on music? Are you doing music work?
Is that Mikey or Mike?
Mike, maybe Quincy is talking to someone else in the chat called Mike. I don't know.
Is that Quincy Jones?
No, unfortunately, no, not spelled. Unless Quincy Jones spelled Quincy with a 1 and a C.
Maybe he's hiding.
Maybe. Who
You guys
knows?
just blew up his whole spot.
Who knows? Well, yeah. I mean, we're not going to come to a solution to the what's happening in the Middle East tonight.
Oh, God, no.
But
Everybody go home.
we're going to have to wrap it up soon because we are coming up to 11:30.
How? So I'm sorry. How have we
What?
not solved the Middle East problem already tonight?
Well, I
Fuck's
said
sake.
don't use the Z word, and if you're going to have flags, either have both flags or no flags. There you go. There's your choice.
There we go. We've
There you
done
go.
it.
Sorted.
So send everybody that memo, and we're sorted.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, clip it.
Jobs next.
Jobs are good. Before we go, I would like to just go around and ask everyone what they've got a story this week that they'd like to talk about. Their story of the week that we may or may not have already mentioned. So, Wayne, do you want to start with you, and we'll talk a little bit about your mate Kia going to the match?
That's exactly what I was going to go with. The non-story that is. My guy, Sir Keir, please. Yes, let's salute. Getting hospitality to the Arsenal and getting a security detail. He's the fucking Prime Minister. And if like someone says, like, do you want to come to the football match? And he says, yeah, it's my beloved team. And they're going to pay out for him to go. And they're going to put a security detail on. Too fucking right. You wouldn't expect like Trump or Biden or Obama to go to like a 49ers game without a security detail, would you? You know what I mean? It's bullshit. It's such a non-story, but it's because he's declared it, and he's like said, yeah, I've been invited. What's the problem?
No, I agree. But I'm honoured to say that he's a friend of mine. But Ben Jennings did this cartoon today, which I quite like.
I have to watch from the special box and the Prime Minister, and then it's got watch for the
It's the Labour Party conference.
Very good.
Oh,
I like that.
played. Well
I like
played.
that.
Ben Jennings is a genius cartoonist. I absolutely adore his work.
Alec Barrett in the chat. Thank you so much for the super chat, mate. It's very kind. Early in the Ottoman period, the office of the Grand Mufti of Istanbul was evolved into that of I assume that's Sulai Islam or Shaykh or leader of Islam, which had ultimate jurisdiction over all the courts in the empire. So there you go.
And Mufti, that was the term I was looking for.
Mufti.
Yeah.
Such a good
That's
term.
what
It's
we
such a
used
good
to.
word, isn't it?
That's
what we used to do on a
use.
Friday. Yeah.
That's what we used to call non-uniform day at school.
Yeah.
Mufti day.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
We didn't have that. We had Baker days off school. You know, when it's called an inset day today, but in my day it was called a Baker day. And all these were
Why was it
fields.
called a Baker Day?
After
Kenneth Baker.
Kenneth Baker,
A massacre.
who was the education secretary.
Massacre.
Yeah.
Mikey, this is England. There wasn't a mass shooting.
Yeah, we don't do
don't know.
that in our
We don't do that.
We don't do that.
Not every Friday like they do.
Grand Mufti is just going to remind me of Grand Moff Tarkin. Has anyone done it where like a giant moth has come into they're like, Grand Moff Tarkin, and you're expecting Peter Cushing to turn up, but actually it's a giant moth.
I was going to say Peter Cushing, yeah.
It's a fucking moth, and it just keeps hitting against the light bulb. No, a lightsaber! So he pulls his lightsaber out and it just keeps hitting itself. But you piss off with your lightsaber.
Keeps buzzing around the light.
Yeah, the lightsabers. Bloody Grand Moff. Anyway, sorry, that's completely random. So Wayne, you think that you get the thumbs up to Sakia getting freebies off the arse and all?
Listen, no, but he's had a season ticket for years.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go to the football, does he?
Yeah.
Does he have to go to the football? Does his life depend on it? He's the Prime Minister, for God's sake. He's got better things to do than go to football. He's to work.
Well, are you denying him going to the football?
Yes.
Boris Johnson never went to the football.
Yeah, I can't go to the football because I can't afford it. So,
Yeah, but he's the Prime Minister, bruv.
Exactly. So he definitely shouldn't go to the football. Because he gets paid less Than Sue Gray.
Sue Gray.
Right. Okay. Great. Let's flip it. If it was Neville Southall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was Prime Minister. Is he allowed to go to the football?
No.
Why?
Because he's the Prime Minister and he needs to do the
He
job.
should be Prime Ministering, shouldn't
Yeah.
He's
There
definitely got a prime
are
or
ministers that need
minister
to be
deal with.
primed.
How
He
are
needs
the
to go-
ministers primed? Do
Yeah,
we
he
even
needs to
know?
go around doing
Who's
Prime
checked?
Ministering.
Jesus.
So yeah, I
Oh.
think it's a dereliction of duty. Anyone else got a story of the week? Anyone else got a story?
I've got one.
Oh, Cozy's got one. Cozy, go for it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a to and fro kind of story. It's been going on since I want to say April. The EU has proposed a youth mobility scheme, right? The EU wants young Brits to be able to come to the EU, live and work there, have work visas, and for young Europeans to be able to do the same in the UK, come and study here, whatnot, or work or whatever. So this idea of a youth mobility scheme has been proposed, and the UK keeps knocking it down. Now, we know the Conservatives were never going to go for it, but Starmer also has knocked it down, and yet it keeps resurfacing. So just today, there was yet another article in The Guardian that, the Commission is going ahead and they're going to send it to a committee to iron out the details, and yet they're like, Starmer keeps coming out with the same bullshit red lines as Theresa May. It's difficult to see whether anything has changed or how this is going to change or whatever.
Do you think they might be doing a little bit of a diplomatic dance or something where they're saying
It's
one thing in public,
exactly,
but in
it's
private?
very much a diplomatic dance.
Theresa May, the greatest dancer ever.
Do you reckon
I don't understand.
Keir Starmer's showing them a bit of ankle?
There was a quote from somebody in the
Does that say a
EU
bit
that
of
was
ankle?
kind of like, well, we don't understand why Starmer hasn't already changed this. Why he hasn't already gone for this, because it's a good idea.
It is a good idea. But it will benefit the EU and it will benefit Britain. So maybe it's one of the few things, the cards that we actually have. Because you remember when, was it Theresa May who said we hold all the cards? No, was it David Davis?
Playing with bargaining chips
David
again
Davis.
and holding all the cards.
We held all the cards. Yeah, David Davis.
It's
Well,
bullshit.
it turned out we didn't
all
hold.
the cards. You're not playing.
We didn't
them,
hold
you
all the
numpty.
cards. Maybe we just had one card in the whole 52 deck of cards.
Yeah,
and this is the one thing we got.
It was that blank one
the
with the rules
arsehole
on it.
No, but Cozy, I think you're right when you say that the EU, if they're really looking into it, they do want to do this, and it will be
They're
really beneficial.
really
for
pushing it, and I'm
Britain
quite.
and the
I
EU.
don't quite know.
I think it'll happen. I
agree that I think it will happen. I don't quite know how I feel about the EU pushing it so hard. I'm slightly suspicious of it. I'm also, because as you know, I keep arguing with Remainers, rejoiners about the
joiners, people who do woodwork.
No, rejoiners, the
What
ones
work?
with a
Joiners?
in front of it, the ones
mean-
that
yeah,
want
but
to
you
join
mean
the
Graham.
EU,
You want
but
us to be
don't
called
want meet any of
joiners?
the criteria required.
Marcus
Or don't even
Kett
know
from
what
All
the
Shorts is a
criteria
joiner.
are.
I had to ask
Okay.
him what's the difference between a joiner and a carpenter, and he really explained it to me in detail, and I can't remember what he
A
actually.
carpenter makes the timber frameworks for whole rooms and buildings and flooring and so on and so forth, whereas a joiner puts together furniture.
Yeah,
I thought it was the other way around.
No, I think that's kind of self-explanatory, really. A
It is
carpenter
when you
is
think about it.
yeah.
A carpenter builds houses.
Yeah.
And a joiner
that-
makes tables. Would have thought it was the other way around.
No.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Pop Act, the Carpenters with Karen Carpenter.
Right. So
I was
when
going
it,
to say
when
Smalty Pop songs. I think that was
when it
that's
comes
what
to- when it-
Carpenters
Pop
do.
songs, top of
when
the
it
world.
comes to carpentry, you can make something, but a joiner will put it together. That's a whole. It's semantic. It's like literally what it says. You can cut
It's
wood.
funnier this way, I think.
You can cut wood as much as you like, but putting it together means you're a joiner.
So what does a carpenter do then?
Cuts
Makes
the
stuff
wood.
for a joiner.
No, a carpenter. They put the carpet in.
But
They do
no,
carpets.
Yeah, they
no,
do carpets.
don't.
Well,
Oh,
carpenter, not carpenter.
Carpenter puts
Yeah.
your wood floor in as well.
Along with building a
Cozy,
table.
I'm now slightly confused
Not building a
about your
table.
argument here. Are we saying people shouldn't call themselves carpenters?
Definitely
If
not.
they're not in the carpenters.
And we're definitely not recarpeting.
I love
This-
Karen
this-
Carpenter.
This
is what I
is
really
descending
wanna know.
into chaos.
That new woman, that carpet, is it Sabrina Carpenter or something?
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina
I'm
Carpenter.
Carpenter.
We
Any
tried to get
relation-
tickets for her.
New-
I'm sorry.
New tangent.
She sung
how have
Espresso,
we
the
got
song of
here?
the summer.
How
We're on a
have we
new
got here?
tangent.
John
Sabrina Carpenter is no relation to Karen Carpenter, but she's really good.
Cool.
Anyway,
Thanks for
Quincy
clarifying
has
that
dropped
for me.
another super chat. Quincy's dropping super chats like
Thank you, Quincy.
Andy.
Michael of the show.
throwing them to the people watching. Thank you very much, Quincy. In Ireland, we have the old Erasmus project still going. If only the Russians hadn't so much influence in Great Britain.
Speaking of
Bada
which,
boom, tish.
right, I hope
Absolutely.
I'm not giving away anything like in any confidence. But Mikey
What?
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 is a bit Irish.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
read
heard he
that
was
somewhere.
19% Dublin.
I read that on
I
the
love me a
internet.
black Irishman.
I read that on the strange website forums that I go on.
No, my mother's biracial, so
And I'm a Lynch.
That's
right.
an Irish
It's an
name.
Irish name. It's a good
Yeah.
Irish
An
name.
Irish name.
You two should get
Can-
Irish
from-
passports.
from County Mayo.
oh, I wish.
Graham,
Oh, wait a minute, Mikey.
Graham, as you've got your own island, can we not get a passport from you?
No.
Probably, but I'm sure the Panamanian government would have something to say about it.
Oh, fuck
You'd
that.
have
They
to
don't
declare
have much of a sense of
independence
humour
first,
about this
wouldn't
kind of thing. Seriously.
Is your mum Irish?
My mum.
No, Mikey.
Oh, Mikey.
He's biracial.
Yeah, but is one of those halves
We
Irish?
d- Mikey, we don't care that her name's Rachel. What we want to know.
Bye, Rachel. Bye, Felicia.
You dick.
It would have to be that way, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I
don't understand the question because it's like, yes, I have some Irish DNA.
I'm
Oh, is it
asking
from your
how
biracial
far,
mother? It's
how
like,
far in the back?
yeah.
How far back?
If
is
it's
the Irish?
19%, it's got to be grandparent
It's
or
a
great-grandparent,
grandparent.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
So you have an Irish grandparent.
Yeah.
You could
I
be
don't know.
Irish.
I've never met him.
So
but-
just
Get
hear
yourself
me
an Irish
out.
passport.
Hear me
Yeah.
out. You can get an Irish passport. Your parent, who is the child of said Irish grandparent, has to get themselves an Irish passport. They may have to, depending on where they were born, they may have to register in Ireland as an overseas birth first. Once they've done that, you get yourself registered in Ireland as an overseas birth and get yourself an Irish passport and become an EU citizen like me. Welcome to the
You're
fold.
Irish.
Yes, Mikey.
Cozy, we've had the super chat in, and it's about the youth mobility scheme. So I was saying,
Aw.
I was saying about that one card that we're holding back. Okay, so Alex says, thank you very much for the super chat, Alec. Cozy, the UK government wants mutual recognition of qualifications. No youth mobility scheme without the mutual recognition
red
of
line?
qualifications. No, it's not. It's negotiation.
Well, I mean,
You
if
say, well,
had
we do
EU
the thing that you
membership,
wanna
you'd
do,
have
and you do the
mutual
thing we wanna
recognition
do.
of qualification.
Happy days.
I mean, I totally agree with mutual
Because that
recognition
would
of
benefit
qualification.
British people more, whereas the mobility scheme would probably help European, EU citizens more than British citizens necessarily.
No, only British people are actually prepared to learn languages, and that's a minority, as we both know. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're another beer, por favor.
And Quincy says, "All right, party in my house, woo!" Thanks for the
Where's
super chat,
Quincy?
Quincy.
Thanks,
Quincy's just dropping super chats like crazy here. It's
From
Aw,
Ireland.
Quincy,
Quincy,
thank
Quincy.
you.
Very sweet.
Graham, as a man of the world and every country,
Ooh,
Oh,
yes.
Don't give him another chance, Wayne.
no,
That's a
mate,
really
wanna
good
go to
name for a
bed.
book.
I'm nodding it over the line.
I'll tell you
mate.
what, the
I'm not-
second book, when I cross over the Himalayas from Nepal into Tibet, I could call that Top of the World because it's the
Do you know-
rooftop.
Over the top of the
And then the
Could
last
be a
one,
oh,
trilogy.
you gotta
when
make
I
it
get
into
back to the
Bhutan.
UK on the 21st of December 2012, after visiting every country in the world, I could call that End of the World because that was when the world was supposed to end. but it
Thanks,
didn't
so
because
much.
I unlocked
Do
the
you know I'm
Mayan secret calendar thing.
Do you know what I'm
That's
going
what
to do?
really happened.
I'm gonna do a pastiche of your book.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be from Essex, and it's going to be every town,
Basildon.
every
A
town,
Cornish pastiche.
every ward.
Every ward. It would be great. I'd like that. I'd be like that.
I'm just going
Anyway,
to walk
Travel
there.
to every country you want to go to again.
But Graham,
Yeah, I'd go to all of them again. I don't think there's any country where I'm like, definitely not.
Serious question. Like,
Yeah.
how many passports can you legally hold at any
2.
one time?
In this country, 2.
Is
No,
it 2?
the UK doesn't have any restriction.
Oh,
Is it not?
You can have as many as you want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
You can
cool.
have
Graham's
3, 4,
doing another
5
lap.
citizenships.
No. British passports. How many British passports
Oh,
can you have?
UK passports. Well,
Yeah.
valid ones, maximum 2, yeah.
Which is what I said.
You should only, yeah,
Right.
sorry, I thought you meant citizenships.
so
Nationalities.
so I can get an Irish.
I
and
love
a
being
British
corrected
passport.
on something that I'm an actual expert on. But anyway, Wayne, what were you
Oh,
saying?
listen,
No, but Wayne's question
sorry.
was about citizenships, not
It's
British
not about how many
passports. It was about an
passports
you
Irish
have.
one
No,
and a
no.
British
Cozy, I know you're in a happy relationship, but if you ever find yourself single, what I've always found is if you put on your Tinder profile or your Bumble profile, I like to correct people. Honestly, mate, you will be the most swiped right person in the whole of Britain. People love
Well,
that.
it'll sift them out.
Yeah,
I doubt I would
especially
ever
when
go
they're
on a
not
date.
Good
wrong.
filter.
Anyway, Wayne, continue. What were you saying?
I was just saying. I was
Just
I'll
how
just-
does it feel,
I'll-
Graham? You've been woman-splained. Just suck it
Yeah.
up.
You can have 2 passports, Wayne. That was the answer to the question.
Yeah,
at the same time.
That was the question that I was asking, because I was sitting there
Wait,
thinking,
were you asking about having 2 British passports or how many nationalities you can have?
no, I was asking how many passports I can have. 'Cause
British?
obviously, I've got my British passport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how far back I've got to go. I swear to God, Mikey, don't fuck with me in my pronunciation, you cunt.
Hey, Wayne, we were just watching the Danny Boyle movie yesterday, you know, where they forget about all the Beatles songs. And twice in the subtitles, they changed what they actually said out their faces because the subtitles were the American subtitles. So she said, I teach maths with an S because it's mathematics, a plural. And it changed
Not
it in the
math.
subtitles to math.
Math.
And then later on in the same movie, someone said the word honor and it didn't have a U.
Oh,
Fuck
it's
you,
like-
American
Netflix.
Subtitles.
I'm
Shocking.
getting my Netflix subscription
Right,
back.
no. Me and Mikey have had this back and forth before about the word colour.
Colour.
He's like, why are you put a U in there?
Webster.
What you say,
Right,
Holmes?
wait.
Because British
The guy
English is
Webster-
heavily influenced by French because English is the
Yeah.
bastard child of German and French. Color, the American spelling, is actually going closer back to the Latin original, so don't knock it.
Well,
It's not
but
true.
it was
Also, less
Very
characters
nice
on
story,
no,
but
Twitter.
not true.
Webster
It's about the print.
simplified the
Sorry,
American
fewer.
dictionary. Yeah,
Yeah.
Webster
Fewer
simplified
characters.
the American dictionary, and it was a political move to distinguish
it?
American English from
Yeah.
English, basically.
Yeah. So, Cozy, shut your filthy mouth.
And arguably,
You know,
and
everything
a lot of linguists agree with this, is that the American spellings all make a lot more sense because we.
No, this is lazy.
What, like Arkansas?
Lazy.
Like
Well,
Arkansas
look,
way,
American
Mike.
spellings
Native
is
American
basically
word.
Germans
It's
trying
not
to
English.
Arkansas? Why spell it like that then?
It's
They didn't
not
spell it like that.
English.
They didn't use Roman letters.
Aluminium.
I mean, I don't have a
What?
problem with that. I don't have a problem with that
And also, yeah,
because
you can say that both ways.
it was arguably aluminum to start with. And we changed
Ah.
it because we wanted it to fit in with the rest of the IUMs at the end of the suffixes at the end of the period.
Filthy Americans.
No, I don't have a problem with
got
that.
the show.
Sulfur's a bit mad though.
trademarking
They've got an
thing.
F in sulfur instead of a PH, which is like.
Oh,
splitting
really?
hairs. Yeah, they spell
But so
sulfur
does
with an
German
F.
now since the spelling reform. We
What?
changed a lot of PFs into Fs.
Wolfram.
Yeah.
Wolfram
Yeah.
became titanium or something, didn't it? What did Wolfram become?
We're going to
Tungsten.
into the whole
No.
the great vowel
Tungsten.
shift
The great
At the end of the day,
we
look,
haven't
look,
really
look,
got time
cunning
to
linguists.
investigate this one.
Look, before we wrap up,
Is
Right.
it not good enough that we solved the Middle East problem?
Yeah.
yeah,
Now
And
we're
now
gonna
we're
solve the
trying to
problem
solve the Anglo-American version of
Of
English.
two
I mean, we could
countries
save that for
separated by
another
common
podcast.
language.
So
Yeah.
Anyway.
We put them there so they can just take what we say. End of.
That's a
might
bit
beat
harsh.
us in the-
Wait, mate, I mean,
might beat us in the war, and
there's-
they can do their own thing.
there's a
That's
good
cushy.
several
That's
million
fine.
people, Wayne, who didn't want to go there.
And we go back to Mikey's Irish roots.
Hey, I'm hoping this whole experiment fails.
which one?
Yes.
Which experiment
Right.
is that, Mikey?
Mikey, I've got
Yes.
I've got a spare.
We've got to wrap up. We've
What,
got to.
making you Irish.
I said we've got to wrap up like 20 minutes ago. Mikey, have you got a quick story from this week from America that we might not have heard of that you think
I'll tell everybody to watch that Senate Judiciary Committee meeting. I forget. I think it's Dr. Barry. But yeah, check out what Ted Cruz and Hockley and all the typical guys you normally see completely just spew the most racist, vile, bigoted shit you ever saw.
that sounds about
And
right.
these are the same
I
people
don't
that say
want to
that they
watch
don't.
that.
What's
I don't
this
wanna
at?
listen
What-
to
people-
that.
What is
and
this,
these are the
Mikey?
60 minutes of fun.
What is it?
It's the Senate Judiciary Committee had a hearing on hate speech and anti-hate and what
Oh.
they're going to do about it.
Is this the
as a
Kennedy
country.
guy? Is this the Kennedy
Yeah.
guy where he was just
Yeah.
horrible to the
He told her
woman
to
who
put
was
a bag.
representing?
Told the Muslim woman to put a bag on her head.
Yeah, and he said
Okay.
that he kept on saying, do you support Hamas? Do you support Hezbollah? And she's like, I can't even believe you're asking me that.
God.
Right.
It's
Oh,
You're
painful.
just proving my point.
Fog on, leg on.
Yeah.
I say, all
But-
right. Well, dude.
But and the reason why I want people to watch this kind of stuff is because you should know what these guys are saying. Because when I say, all right, Louisiana, I need you guys to mobilize and get his ass the fuck out of here. This is the material that you use. You use their words against you. So watch
Against
it so that you get angry, so that you fucking do something about it and don't just complain on the internet.
Good point.
Point well made.
Yeah, but what can we
My
do?
arm's disappeared. Look at this. Anyway,
fine.
what can we do?
We don't trust you guys to do anything.
We can just make we can make films
You
on the
guys can-
internet. We can just
You
make
can
films
you guys
videos
can
on the
broad
internet.
you can
But
broadcast
you guys do
you guys
that. What can
you
I
guys
do?
help, you
You
guys
can
help
appear in our
broadcast-
films.
You guys can help
Yeah, all right.
broadcast little channels like the Ben Podcast Network.
Yeah.
Who are going to be actively reporting on these kinds of anti
Shenanigans.
freedom, anti-human rights hearings that are
Oh
going on.
yeah,
in this
that reminds
country.
me. Will you put the channel in our chat, please, so I can go there and subscribe and
get
stuff
it.
like that.
The bin.
And also, Cozy, we can just
put it in the
wait,
bin.
bide our time like we have done for 200 years, see if the experiment actually works, and then mobilize Prince Harry, and we just become the royal family of America again.
Oh no!
Yeah, we just
Prince-
take the colony back because
Prince-
the
Prince-
experiment
Prince-
has
Prince-
failed.
Activate Agent Windsor.
Yep.
Prince Harry's our Trojan horse. He's our
Yeah.
He's our Order 66.
No, Wayne, when you get your Irish
We'll be back.
passport, you can have 3 passports because then you can have 2 British ones and an Irish one.
It's true.
Oh,
Yes.
Yep.
Your face
There you
grey.
go.
No. I met a guy who had 5 passports once.
Yeah.
He had, I think, 2 British ones, 2 French ones, because he was part of the Foreign Legion, and you get a passport for that or something.
Yeah.
And he had a Hong Kong passport as well. He had like 5 passports. He showed me that. I was quite impressed with that. Anyway, Mike, have you got a story before we go? Or have we,
My only
have
one
we-
this week was
covered it?
James O'Brien. Did you hear him? Nick Ferrari had Nigel Farage on for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
that's-
Oh,
I know.
doing
Well,
a
he's
cooling.
talking about a handover.
And
Oh.
O'Brien did the handover. And as Farage was leaving the studio, he just said, Nigel Farage, isn't it great if you've got riots named after you because of your racist rhetoric? And you could almost hear Farage
He
bustling out.
looked
of
him in the
studio.
eye and done it. He looked him in the eye and
Absolutely
done it.
amazing.
Lovely.
Amazing. Yeah,
I could
what a
actually
star.
I could actually play that for the for the viewers listening if you want to hear
That
it.
would be very cool.
For the viewers
Um,
listening.
Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to hear it, but everyone else will if I just turn the sound off on this. The sound
difficulties.
on
You wear a
this.
fake Rolex
They
because
were
you
in
know
the
the real
same
one to pay
room.
your
It was
debts. My guess is
brilliant.
to a
Oh,
bookie.
hang on.
I took this Thank you,
Here we go.
Nick. The time is approaching 10 o'clock, and well, there's a lot to get
Time
through
is approaching
today.
10 o'clock.
For
We've got
example, have you
40
ever had
seconds.
violent race riots named after you,
Phil,
or
quick,
indeed been accused by
advert
the
break.
head of the
Mikey.
Met of emboldening the
The
racist
Bin
thugs
Podcast
responsible?
Network.
Has your
Go
vile and
on
ignorant
YouTube.
rhetoric
Do it.
ever helped instigate attempts to burn people alive in their beds? Have you ever cited a
The
self-described
Bin
misogynist facing
Podcast.
rape?
The Bin Podcast is where you can
As a
hear
trustworthy news source
Mikey.
for
Very
events in
good.
the UK,
We recommend
or
it.
describe yourself as
Mikey
part of
and
a
I-
phenomenon.
I don't
him.
do
Have you ever
Everyone
had
shut
a
up.
convicted
Yes, you
woman beater get elected to the UK Parliament? And have any newly elected MPs spent more time in America getting binned off by Donald Trump than they have in their own constituency?
Oh, dear,
and what
mate.
would you call someone who answers yes to all those questions? Thank you, Nick.
Right, there you go. I played it back, but it was quite quiet and everyone was talking over it. So I don't know if anyone actually heard it.
Sorry,
I should have
we
muted
misunderstood
you.
that. I thought you wanted us to fill 40
Oh, I
seconds.
thought, I thought that's what
We
you
were
was asking.
confused.
No, I just meant I was playing. I was playing it, but
Bad
you couldn't
introduction.
hear it. But the viewers at home could.
Do it again, and everyone shut up.
It was really quiet. It was really quiet. I'll try and get a better copy of it, but hang on, I'll try and get a better version for you. But you can talk. Go on, tell us about the bin while you do this. Quick.
It's
While
your
I'm
favorite people.
looking it up.
It's your favorite people talking about the things that you hate the most. We watch all of the horrible shit in Congress and around the world, so you don't have to, and we give it to you in millennial speak. You're welcome.
Very good.
Yeah, and we give you the Anglosphere take on it. We get the Nordic sphere on it as well with Jartan. We also get the Californian sphere on it from Brenner. Yeah.
Everyone's favorite.
Can I just, while Graham was
Everyone's
finding that
favourite.
video, Puninator's done a super chat for £2. Thank you, Puninator.
Oh, thank
And
you,
he says,
Puninator.
Was that a Criminal Minds clip first, Graham, before you played the clip?
It might have been because I was on YouTube Shorts and it played the one before the one after. So yeah, that was.
Well,
that
chuck
was a
the
bit of
link
a
in
boo-boo.
the description for that.
Okay.
It was, as Scott says, it was a delicious moment and well worth watching.
All right,
over and over again.
I will play it now. And do you know what? I can probably. Oh, I was going to say I could do something that will let you hear it, but I don't want to fuck up the sound for the rest of the show. So you just gonna have to be. Look, if you see me, I'll just do this, and then when it's finished, I'll talk.
All right.
But here we go. This should play it. I think. Should
Very
play
much. Nigel Rush, thank you for appearing here on
Thank
LBC
you.
and taking calls. I am done for another day.
Okay.
James O'Brien's the other side of the news on LBC. I'm with you tomorrow morning from 7. Meantime, stay safe.
All right, 40 seconds. Here we go.
Thank
Quiet.
you, Nick. The time is approaching 10 o'clock, and well, there's a lot to get through today. For example, have you ever had violent race riots named after you, or indeed been accused by the head of the Met of emboldening the racist thugs responsible? Has your vile and ignorant rhetoric ever helped instigate attempts to burn people alive in their beds? Have you ever cited a self-described misogynist facing rape and people trafficking charges in Romania as a trustworthy news source for events in the UK? Or described yourself as part of a similar phenomenon to him? Have you ever helped a convicted woman beater get elected to the UK Parliament? And have any newly elected MPs spent more time in America getting binned off by Donald Trump than they have in their own constituency? And what would you call someone who answers yes to all those questions?
Wow.
On your radio.
That was it. That was
you
the
very
clip
much.
there.
Nice.
And it was just absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that he said that
Unbelievable.
while Farage was in the room and looking at him saying all this, and it was I want to see the footage. I mean, they must have been filming it because they film it for the YouTube, don't they? But they don't include that bit. They don't include the handover on the clips, do they?
So what happens is, so Nick Ferrari's in the hot seat at the time, and then Farage will be in the guest seat, which is just to his left. Then James will come in and do his preamble on another one of the mics, and he has to walk in there. So they're all three of them are in the same studio at the same time. Right, so he's like literally just looking at him, going, "Yeah." So if you believe this person, and he's looking at him twice in the eye, and then Because the geezer's already called him a clown. He's like, oh, that clown O'Brien who comes on after you. And he's like, all right, bruv, yeah, let's go. You want
Do you reckon he had that scripted? Do you reckon he had that written down? Because I know he's very good, but that night...
He'd also tweeted almost the same thing in the morning, so I think he was prepped. He knew what he was doing.
No, he knew that he was in, and he knew that because obviously when they do the handover, normally they do where Farage is sitting. That's where James normally sits when they do the handover. Nick gets up, and then during the break they swap seats, and then he gets in on that.
I love that handover every morning because it's like the last hour of Nick Ferrari ranting about traffic cones or something, and then Brian comes on and says, "Thank you, Nick. That was really interesting." Anyway, aren't the fuckers that moan about traffic cones? No.
But to be fair, he's been doing that for the last couple of years because there's in our little group chat.
Look at that! Wow.
We were saying like why don't you like just bury Nick more, because he's like just right wing propagandist, and we had him in the pub, like it was like me and a few of our pals. It's like, why don't you just like say to him like, this is bullshit, why are you doing this? And from then on he's kind of like been like, nah, I'm not having this, and been pulling him up straight up, like just going like you heard just yesterday.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
why are we talking about this? Why are we talking?
Well, listen,
what is the point,
Wayne? It was phenomenal. It was actually we got some questioning saying, how does Tory Wayne know how does he have his intimate knowledge of the LBC studio? Wayne's very good friends with one of the presenters on LBC.
Nick Ferrari.
You won't guess which one. Well, listen, thank you so much for watching. If you want to meet me, if you want to meet me in real life, and Tory Wayne, because you're coming as well, aren't you, Wayne?
Yeah,
Wayne, you coming? You coming?
I'm gonna try and get up there.
Yeah, okay. On Monday, along with Femi Oluwole, we've got Mike Galsworthy, the head of the European Movement. We've also got Peter Corr of the National Rejoin March, and a bunch of other rejoiners there as well, or joiners, as Cody would say. And we're going to be there at 8:30 onwards in Liverpool oh, sorry, I was going to put the link in the chat there, but I've lost the link. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to keep talking while I find the link again, so I can copy and paste it into.
And also, while you're doing it, you can put over the bin podcast.
Yes. What, you want me to put the link for the bin, or just mention it?
Mikey put
the link for the bin. Sure, why not?
Well, if Mikey's in the chat, you can put the link to the bin in the chat, can't you?
No.
Can you do that, Mikey?
Yeah, Mikey can do that. You're in the chat.
I'm not a mod.
No, you can still put it in the chat.
You can put it in the.
Oh, okay, Wayne.
You put it on the WhatsApp. But yeah, we'll be talking about do all roads lead back to Europe, and obviously all four of us think that it does, but we all have slightly different roads that we're walking down. Are we walking down the same road? Are we walking down different roads? Who knows? But we all want to rejoin the EU at some point in the future. So yeah, if Mikey, have you sent that over on WhatsApp? Just the link to the bin podcast. What's it at? It's at bin. I
put it in the chat.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because Mikey shared it on our the internal chat.
Oh, Mikey is typing.
I've done it everywhere.
It says.
But it's not.
It's not come up. It's not come up in the chat, in the top chat.
It's not a link.
No, it's not come up as a link.
I can't post links because I'm not a moderator. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
But Wayne told me to do it anyway, so I did it.
If you put it in the Politics Social WhatsApp group, then I can quickly put it onto the chat.
I did.
It's not come up. Oh, I'm having this problem with WhatsApp web at the moment. It's not showing me new messages. People are like, I messaged you 3 hours ago, you crazy fool. I'm like, I didn't get the message. That's just like loading up and taking. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh wow, there's loads of messages here. Okay. Hey.
Well done.
What? Right, there you go. It's the Bin Podcast Network. Right. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so Wayne, thank you. Mike, thank you. Mikey, thank you. Cozy, thank you. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all the love and support. Hopefully, I'll see some of you on Monday at 7:30, but I'll definitely be seeing a lot of you Monday at 9:30 in the morning when I'll be hosting Morning Brew. So from Liverpool, from the Labour Party conference, and we'll be doing some bits and pieces of filming over there as well. So join us for that. And until next time, I'll say thank you to my fellow guests on the show. Thank you to everyone watching. Thanks for the super chats. Give us a like on the way out. And until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. Bye. Everyone say goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yay.